What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the tournament. So it's going to be a single faction tournament, not tabletop tonight, just going to be a standard one. So you'll see more meta builds and a little bit sweatier play overall, I would say. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Ent? You're going to be looking to win tonight. We got some killers in here tonight, which is good. We got we got actually the number 1 and number 2 ladder players playing tonight on the tournament leaderboard. We got Anticity and Danikin. That's very fun. All right. Let's get this party started. Let's have some fun, and let's see who is going to be making top 4. So going to be starting the tournament here in just a moment. May the fedora sweat drip, yes. The dreaded trilbies come for us. Okay, so looks good. If you're not checked in by now, you're probably not going to be checked in anyways. So checking, looks fine, and generating the brackets right now. All right. You're going to be joining on Corn, Pancake. Oh, maybe we'll get one of your games tonight. That could be fun. See what you got cooked up. All right, Goblins, round 1. Good luck, have fun. All right, so round 1 is live, and let's find a match to cast. Oh, no, Pancake got the buy rounds. Oh, Pancake, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's a free win. So, Pancake, you are going to be in the winners column right out of the gates. And Pancake, if our match finishes quickly, I will play you. How's that sound? If we get into a really quick match, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll play one with you. All right, so we're gonna do. Who do we want to do here? We can do. Let's do some folks. We'll do the general. He's gonna be fun. All right, so we'll do the general. I think this is him here. Let me see who he's playing. So just looking for a round 1 match to cast real quick. So we will do Death by Ricochet. Death by Ricochet. Yo, lobby code, please. Good luck, have fun. All right, man. Let's have some fun. Yeah, Corn cares from not... Corn doesn't care from where the blood flows, even if it is given to him for free by the buy round. He's happy with it. The buy round is not a big deal if you get it in round 1, but if you get the buy round after losing a couple games in the row, it's one of the worst. Most people just drop when that happens. They're just like, I'm done. I'm putting my toys away. I'm going home. All right, so we're gonna get the lobby code. Never mind. It's a Dowie mirror match. We're not gonna cast that one. Okay, let's do. We could do walnuts. Let's do some players we haven't casted too much of. We'll do walnuts aren't tree nuts. Yo. Lobby code, please. Thank you. Hey Mason, thank you for the $5. Had not been around in the community for a while, but now jumping back in. Hope all is well. Hey, everything's good. So. Total War is a bit slow at the moment, but not because of like a bad meta or anything. It's just we haven't gotten an update in a long time. But aside from that, the meta's good. We have a lot of active tournaments. Yeah, life's good. We've been covering other games. Really into Iron Harvest right now. I wish I had gotten into that game during its prime time. Maybe we could have convinced them to get the spectator mode going. But it's been fun. All right, so walnuts aren't tree nuts. Asking for a lobby code, and it's going to be Chris L as well. Chris L. Okay, where is he? Where's this individual? I don't know. We'll see who responds to me first. I'm going to ask for a couple lobby codes. And we can do Johnny Cash as well. Johnny Cash. Lobby code, please. Thank you. All right, so we're looking for some games here. And, yeah, let's see what's up. Check the SFT declarations. Is there something forbidden in there I should see? Which channel in the Discord do you use to find your opponent? Yeah, so just go to the Discord and go on the website and just tag them in the tournament section. If you can't find your opponent, let me know. Or if they don't show or something like that, just let me know. Maximillionaire. Yeah, tricky, man. If you're not into traditional RTS, it's going to be a bit of a rough one for you. All right, so we got the lobby code from Johnny Cash. This is going to be a round 1 match. And... Potato Devil. Okay, it's the lobby name. We'll be back. He doesn't have a password on it, so we're gonna need to find that one again. Potato. It was something potato. Spec slot. Great. So we should get that all squared away, and we just gotta wait for the lobby to pop up again. There it is. Cool. Yeah, you can find him in there. Walnuts aren't tree nuts. Just message them directly in Discord. You can DM your opponent. I see who it is. So, yeah. Give me the spectator slot, precious. I want it. A great clean one bathwater. Wow. Okay, the lobby names are getting more creative. We have Jim and Mussie's Party Pals. Oh my god, the names. Yeah, sounds good, Dark Horse. No worries. Okay, so who's the host here? The host on the other side is Potatoes Devil. Okay. Yo-yo. Spec slot, please. Thank you. All right, so I messaged, and they should be making a spec slot for me in a moment. Doing a sneaky work watch today. Nice. What kind of work do you do? Is it somewhere where you can really get in there and sneak in the shadows and watch quite a bit? Yeah, late night tournament, sort of. Love the Great Clean Ones bathwater. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so there should be a spec slot coming up. And Potatoes lobby. No, we don't want to join with the code. Where is this? Could have sworn the game was just here. Yeah, now I don't see the game. Don't see any spec slots up. We'll get this one squared away. Ah, got it. We are on Total Tavern map pack. So these two are having a compatibility issue. So it's actually good that we're casting their game because it will give me time to help them. And it means we'll probably be the last one in the round. Okay. We're on the Total Tavern map pack. It got updated recently. So make sure yours is. All right. So let me message this individual. Make sure your map pack is updated. Okay. Helping these guys out. And we should get it squared away. Working from home. Oh, nice. Yeah, so you're going to be able to be extra deep in the watch here. Cool. Welcome back, Turin. Do you hear the voices? Not tonight. No, we're not playing Dawn of War and hearing the dreaded Chaos ASMR. Okay, I'm getting pinged already. Uh-oh, the adminning is starting early here. All right. It is in the... Got to give this individual the tournament role for Total War. So let me go get this one. So Salty Scarab, I don't know if you're listening, but you need to go to the tournament chat. Right there. And DM your opponent. Then you should be all good. Okay. Great. So it should be squared away now. How about a wild FFA tournament? A wild tournament, FFA single build. So FFA tournaments are very tricky to run for a couple of reasons. One of the big issues with FFA tournaments is there's no incentive to attack. There's not like an objective. Total War FFA would be better if it was like how it's done in Dawn of War, where there's capturable objectives that give you like points towards a victory ticket. That would actually be really fun. So imagine if we had 4 objectives on an FFA map like this, and each objective gives you maybe 6. You have each player has like a home objective, and then there's like contested ones. And each of those is going to be giving you a victory point. That would be really, really cool. But alas, in FFA, it's basically just, you have to fight each other. And, there's not really any... it got disabled now. It's letting... Okay, I'm not getting a response from host. Let's see here. Okay, OPS 6.3. I'm not there. So there's that. Okay, so these guys are having issues here. Okay, so I'm going to host a lobby, and then we'll be able to figure out who has the issue. Turin host. That's how we'll figure this one out. And worst case, we'll start a little bit late, but no worries, we got time. Okay, so I'm going to have these two guys join, and they can let me know the map. Can map makers make that? I think they could. You could do like a domination 4-player map. Probably. That would be something that'd be kind of fun. Would you guys be interested in that? I could talk to some of the map makers. You need people in FFA who are good sports. Yeah, exactly. Because it could be really cheesy and really cagey otherwise. But if you had like a handful of objectives that the players fought over, that would be really, really cool. Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod does some pretty good FFAs. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and join. We're going to do this. And now we're in. I can't believe we're getting a Dawn of War game and Relic isn't working on it. I know. It's pretty wild. The host has left the game. Oh my god, really? No. Oh no. Oh no. Alright. So we're waiting on this. The communication here is a little bit lapsed, I'm not going to lie. Okay, we're live here. Looks good. Okay. They need to make 4 player domination with 7 capture points. I wonder if with the modding you could make it so the individuals are on their own teams. Yeah, if you could actually do it with FFA. That would be FFA domination mode would be really interesting. The Forbidden Turin stream at 3 a.m. Yeah, it's pretty forbidden. We're starting pretty late tonight. Okay. It's fresh. Should be one of these ones. I imagine it is this. And here we go. We've finally done it, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it. Everybody else is probably halfway through their games, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it's some weird thing about not getting a response from host, too. Something's funky with their lobby. Joining game. Come on, baby. Give it to us. Janky Total War. It's really nice having Dawn of War 4 to look forward to. Yeah, honestly, it is. It is. Because it's been, I don't know when we're getting the friggin' Total War update. I would assume in the next couple of months something will be coming. Oh, we made it. All right. So we got Warriors of Chaos versus Lizardmen in round 1. So somebody in chat wanted dinosaurs, right? There was some dino chads hanging out. Well, here you are. Warriors of Chaos versus dinos, and they can start whenever they're ready. And it looks like everybody else has got their opponents. And we are rolling, rolling, rolling. All right. Great. So this is a fun matchup. A couple ways you can go about it. Lizardmen are probably have one of the most diverse build sets in the entire game. You can do melee rushes with a bunch of chaff. You can do kiting builds if you want to with solar engines, skinks, salamanders, monster mash with dread saurian, lore of life. You know, you can do pretty much whatever. You can get a lot done. What is your opinion on the siege rework they showed a few weeks back? So I have not even touched it. I know there's some people who I think they gave some people a hands-on. I don't know, but I have not touched the siege rework. I don't even play campaign. So, what about Warhammer Tabletop? Yes, I do play Warhammer Tabletop. Yeah, I play pretty much all the Games Workshop games except Age of Sigmar. What's today's format? No, not single list today. Today is going to be a classic single faction. So you pick one faction, but you can change your build every single round. So pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Sky High says about Iron Harvest, I had it on my wish list since I started. It's a shame it didn't get more support. I really like it. Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm having a blast with Iron Harvest. It's like a lament, you know, because I'm like I want more stuff. I want spectator mode. I want to find people on ladder easily. But yeah, it is what it is, man. You know, it's so cool. You know, I was just thinking, and I'm sure some of you guys would find it fun as well. But like, how is there not? Like the Iron Harvest universe, the 1920 plus or whatever it's called, that would make an amazing tabletop game. It would be so good. You'd have all the infantry models, you'd have the mechs, you'd have the super heavies as like your centerpieces. I think it would be really, I mean, objective based, obviously. I think there is a ton of potential for an Iron Harvest tabletop game because it combines a lot of elements that people like. Number one, big mechs. Number two, historical, you know, inflections in the faction and historical inspiration. Which I think a lot of people, that would draw in people who are like more classical war gamers who like to play like bolt action and those kind of like World War II games. And then also the people who like fantasy and mechs. I would be all about that life. That'd be super fun. Yeah, we have a lot of new player tournaments as well. I know it's based off a board game, yes. But I'm saying like a miniature war game. So like something like, think 40K. Obviously, you'd probably want it to be more skirmish-based to be a little bit easier to get into, but you could still have decent-sized armies. Somewhere in between 40K and like a skirmish game. Yeah, the Scythe is the board game. Yeah, like a War Machine type game. Right, Brad, right. Something like that. Potato is ready. Johnny Cash is getting ready there as well. Yeah, there is already Trench Crusade. Trench Crusade does have some mechs, but I really unironically think that Iron Harvest would do very well as a war game. It would be really fun. The universe is very cool and the aesthetic is amazing. I mean, yeah. I haven't tried Trench Crusade yet. Trench Crusade is like very skirmishy. Old World bounces better for sure, Duncan. It's gotten better with the most recent bouncing patch, but my issue with Old World is just that even after the bouncing patch, big monster lists are just too cheesy and too dominant. It's like the amount of agency you can get on the battlefield out of like a big Star Dragon or Chaos Dragon is incredibly stupid. They didn't nerf big mounted character monsters enough, and they're still going to continue to dominate the game super hard. Yeah, but I think that I played Lord of the Rings instead now, the Middle Earth game, and it's really good. It seems pretty balanced and it's fun. There's an Iron Harvest style war game on My Mini Factory. Yeah, but does it have like actual deep rules and support, or is it just kind of like some guys made some miniatures and are trying to sell them? All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's have some fun. Let's break it down and see what's cooking. So, it's going to be Chaos versus Lizardmen. And now looking at the Chaos Army, let's see what Unga Bunga we got over here. It is going to be Forsaken, which are probably one of the best Chaos Infantry units in the game because they're so quick. These bad boys have 46 movement speed, so they give you a ton of variance in terms of getting around to the various objectives. And, ooh, boy. Okay, is there lag going on right now? I can't tell. It looks like one of these guys might be playing on a potato. The Forsaken are trying to move. We might have to just jump out of this game and play. Yeah, this one is looking really tough. So Pancake, I don't know if you're still around, but you and I, we might just want to play a quick match. Yeah, it's weird, Haste Rider. I don't know why the YouTube... How does the YouTube quality look for you guys who watch on YouTube? I get some people... I've been having people tell me lately that it looks a little bit pixelated. This is going to be way too laggy, so we're going to go ahead and let those guys play, and Pancake and I will just play a match. All right, Pancake, you and I are on, boss. We're going to get in there and play. So I'm going to play something to fill the buy round here, so T-Dog. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Holy shit, that is some lag, though. God damn, dude. There's some serious potato power going on to those. All right, Pancake. Death Pancake. It is time. Let us do Glorious Battle. It looks fine at the moment. Normal. Yeah, people are saying that... I've heard, like, mixed things. The quality looks good. It looks normal. I wonder if it's, like, a weird region thing or something. I have no idea. We'll do the Altar of the Champion, and I will play... We can do a little bit of greenskins. That'll be fun. We'll do some greenskins. All right. We get the blocker up. Wookiee is here. All right, Pancake. It's time, brother. It's time for you to show your mettle. Show me what you got. At the moment, there's no swift camera movements. Okay, so you're saying the issues come when there's swift camera movements, but if I'm sitting still, it looks fine? Man, I don't even know what the causation for that would be. Twitch looks better for you. Interesting. Okay. I need to delve into that, man. I've been really trying to explore it, and it's been tricky pickles. It's been hard to figure that out. Okay, so that looks fine. And then aside from that, you're going to get wrecked. Oh, you're going to be fine. I'm bringing a fun build. We're not going too hog wild here. So Language of the Boys. You know, I kind of want to play some greenskins, actually. Yeah. Seems like a faction that could use a little bit more love. Okay, so that's really good. That's pretty good as well. We can cut that one, and we can keep that as well. Wouldn't that be low? The bitrate isn't even that low, though. It's like 8,000 or 9,000. I don't know why or what's going on with that. It's very weird. Like, the bitrate is not low. All right, so let's do this. We're going to do that, and we're going to do this. Okay, cut those abilities. Great. That's just how video compression... Fast camera movement punishes your bitrate. Okay, yeah. I'll try raising... You know, it's weird. When I try raising the bitrate, it like, causes issues on the Twitch stream, too. Some people saying it looks worse on Twitch. Yeah, it's very weird. I've been getting comments like that every now and then, but it's only for some people, which is a little bit funky. Okay, and then for our last disappearing act, we can get... All right, this build's pretty awesome. It's a little bit haggard, but it's going to be fun as hell. Okay, so we're on Altar of the Champion, so this is the one with the little side objective situation there. 2 and 3. Okay, and we're going to get one more of you guys. Yeah, so it's just a general YouTube issue, some folks are saying. Makes sense. Okay. He could bring some weird shit and catch me off guard for sure. I don't know what he's got in store. Green Things are your favorite at the moment. They're very fun. Green Things are a great faction. They're always a pretty good time. Balloons of 8 Peaks. Let's get you guys and you guys. Looks fine. A couple Orc Boy Spears are always welcome to the party. And then, of course, you don't want to leave home without your couple Boar Boy Biggins. They're very, very good. And, yeah. What big stuff do we really need to worry about on this roster? I think just a couple cheap Aconators, maybe a Wolf Rider's going to be fine. Then here. We can mix in one more tool. It's going to be the Warlords Boys, which these guys are Vanguard and Creepy. Okay. All right, we got a fun build. You definitely don't want to bring a lot of ranged against them. Hey, Moo, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right, thank you, Rahilio. If it was a regional thing, it would only affect live streams. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure, because I have all the same... I guess I could just try just skyrocketing the bitrate for one of the next streams and test how my internet's been. It hasn't been acting up lately, so... Who knows, man? Who knows? Grimgore Blorks win the medal. It's not Grimgore, but it's someone who's also very cool and very heavy metal. You guys like looking at Wookiee over there? There he goes. Okay, that was my dog. He was a noble creature. All right, guys. So we're going to be going heavy metal. We got the Black Orcs. So the Black Orcs are my favorite unit on this roster. They're just so heavy metal, and we got Gorbad. So Gorbad gives them an insane stat buff. He gives them +10/+10 on their stat line, which is just bonkers. Got a couple skirmishers. We got a little goblin to buff these guys up. We have a spider to fight big things, and then we have the AP Gloonies who are going to Vanguard out in the corner there. No, not the... We got Gorbad. People forget Gorbad exists, but he's very good. He's an amazing fighter, and he gives +10/+10, and he has Orcs are the best, so he's able to really sauce these guys up. All right, so we're going to let those guys play their game out. It was very suspicious. When I was joining their lobby, it was like uber laggy. I was like, uh-oh, something ain't right in this lobby. All right, folks. Fasten your seatbelts. Get ready for the Great Wah. And so it begins, the greatest battle of our time. The big memes. A little bit of memeature. The Great Green Prophet. What do we got going here? Orcs are the best. Morglor the Mangler. This one gives you 75% damage, so it can put him up to a pretty obscene amount of damage. Is it possible to make a good army without Regiments of Renown? Absolutely. There are some factions that would suffer a lot more in that situation, but yeah. So we got a Blood Speaker, double Exalted Hero of Khorne, a bunch of Marauders. Ooh, he's gonna have a lot of trouble with those Black Orcs. Looking at that build right now, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Okay, so you guys are going to get this, and you bad boys are going to just rush the middle here. Uh-oh. Seeing a little bit of lag in general tonight. Where are you from, Death Pancake? I don't know, maybe we got some players playing from different regions, and that's why there's a little bit of lag, because I don't see any issues on my end when I see my data feed over here. Okay. Blood Speaker's coming. Ah, he turned off the downloads, the naughty downloads. They've been turned off. Okay. We're good now. So we got 1,000 Gs, and you know what? I say we call out another Black Orc, because they're just super heavy metal and cool. So let's go the dreaded quad Black Orcs. All right, so now we're going to move up. We want to shoot the Halberds, obviously. That's going to be the ideal pick. Spider will be able to fight those Exalted Heroes if they're mounted. Are they? They are mounted. Great. So that means the Spider is going to be very effective against them. All right, Black Orcs are there. We're going to send a cheap spear over there to try and contest that point. And we're going to shoot you guys, and he does have some Chaos Harambe's coming out, so we got to watch out for those guys. The Blood Beasts are actually very scary. All right, so the Goblin's able to grab that. Gorbad can come here and do a little bit of contesting. And we're just going to run back and kite these characters for now. Come, Mr. Spider. Yes, attack. Ragnarok Spiders are okay. They're not the best things in the world, but they're not terrible either. Hey, we got a little bit of damage on Homie. Some freebies, which is nice. And we're going to send a second Black Orc over there, put him in 7. And because we need to hold both points here. So Fleshhounds are cool, but they will lose pretty badly to the Black Orcs. Gorchad needs to go get in melee there, sit nearby to give the stat line buff. And now we want to shoot the Chaos Harambe's where we can. All right, so the Spider is going to chew these guys, but we need the Spider to fight the big scaries there. And we can call out a Boarboy Biggin with some anti-large poke and sticks to really get the fighting going. All right, so Black Orcs and Black Orcs form ranks. These Black Orcs are going to form ranks here. We shoot at the Chaos Harambe's a little bit. And we should have another Black Orc arriving to that side objective here relatively soon. So my opponent's probably going to come and take the fight here in a second. We do have the Exalted Hero there, so we're going to go ahead and attack him and see if we can get him a little bit. Okay, Spider's going to connect. Nice, good Spider. That's a good Spider. All right, so do we fight here? I think we just screen, and we do have the sneaky stabbing when we're ready. You guys shoot the Chaos Harambe's, and we're also going to go ahead and send just a cheap spear to the side point. I think is fine. Great. All right, so we're going to play that game a little bit. We haven't seen where the Chaos Beasts are going to go yet. Black Orcs are coming. Boarboy Biggins are also going to be parking over there. Black Orcs chill here. You guys go here. And we're going to get Gorchad going this way as well. Getting ready for some buffs. Black Orcs will be able to fight reasonably well there. We're going to go get you there. And where are the Blood Beasts going to go? So Fanatics go here, and you guys can charge into the Hounds there. Black Orcs can go there, and you Black Orcs can just kind of figure it out. All right, so we need to be careful. We do have some sneaky stabbing, so we're going to go ahead and pop that on you guys. And the Black Orcs are doing pretty good. We're going to pop Morgul or the Mangler to get a little bit of damage there, and we are going to lose some objective positions, which is what it is. Do we have any big beasties? Yeah, there's the Blood Beasts. Okay, so the Blood Beasts are what we want to target with the Skirmishers as well as our Spider. So we're going to do that. We're going to do an Itchy Nuisance here. And, oh my god, look at frickin', look at Gorbad whooping on these Exalted Heroes. God damn, dude. So he's going to do Orcs to the Best on the Black Orcs there. Buff those bad boys up. It's going to be pretty nice. And from here, we can just get more Boar Boys coming out. Our Baconators there do get lured into Halberds, so I blundered my positioning there. So I do make one pretty decent little blunder, but not the end of the world. The Blood Beasts of Khorne got absolutely karate chop there, which is great. And now we just keep pushing. We need to get you back. Black Orcs need to stay in combat, keep our character there, and you guys can park there for a little bit of capture weight. Did we get the side? We are going to steal the side objective most likely. And the Blorks, Paul Blork Malkop is going to be able to get the job done. All right, let's pull you in. Black Orcs are doing well. We stabilize the objective, and now we can get the AP Loonies because the Fanatics Ball and Chains will be very, very good. All right, any spells to cast? Not at the moment. We do see the Exalted Hero here, so we're going to go chase it with this character. Rogue Idols is absolutely terrible, yeah. All right, so Gorchad, man, he's pretty good. He's putting in work. I don't know why he doesn't see more love for these guys. We're going to get our Boar Boys to go sprint over there, call out some Squigs to come mulch. Not that we need them, because Black Orcs dominate most of the infantry fights here. And yeah, the Spiders do this. Let's get our Skirmishers to go after the throwing weapons, which are killing our dude, unfortunately. And he does lure me back a little bit there. All right, Blorks back on the point. Fanatics are going to need to come onto the point here. And time for the Wah. Let's get it. All right, you guys turn and fight. Shoot at the enemy Skirmishers. Get the Spider back. We need to retreat you. And we are dominating on the side point here. Meanwhile, the Black Orcs are, I think, trading very, very well. All right, let's get an Orc Spear. Do a little bit of this. Those are Chaos Warriors with Halberds. Yeah, we don't want too much of that. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. All right, so Black Orcs getting a little bit worn down over there, but on the side, they're doing very well. So we're going to need to bring one in here. Spider's going to chill out. We can attack into the Chaos Warriors, and let's do an Itchy Nuisance to debuff the Blob and go get our boy going right there. This is a proper scrap, guys. This is definitely Greenskin approved. Crumping for everybody. And look at the Black Orc stat line go up when Big Boy gets nearby. It's so good. So the Halberds are a little bit tricky, but we are going to get them with some Fanatics in a moment. Pigs over there doing good. I always feel like you could have a really good barbecue restaurant called Pigs and Squigs. That would just be the best. All right, so we're going to launch some Fanatics at these guys' faces. So there they go. We're going to get them nice and good, and then we're going to get in and attack them here. And I think we got this game. I think we're looking pretty good. But honestly, he's playing a pretty solid game, man. He's not playing bad at all. Darked Squig Hoppers, let's get him in. Baconator's getting the job done, and Gorbad is going to do, the Black Orcs will win. He's going to buff them up here. Keep chasing here. Let's get you guys coming around the outside. And now there's some Minotaurs. We just got to make sure our character doesn't get caught, and we're chilling. All right, so Gorchad's going to run. We can sacrifice some of the pigs into them, and we can send the Spider in to help out too. Yeah, because Gorchad does not want to get caught right there. Skirmishers, Goblins move up. Screen out a little bit. Black Orcs basically winning all the fights here. Yeah, like every fight that the Black Orcs have been involved in, they've been able to win, so that's pretty good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and Itchy Nuisance these guys, lower their stats down a little bit, call out some Wolf Riders to chase some of the Skirmish Cav here, move you guys up. And how are we looking? All right, guys. What do squigs taste like? I mean, they are mushrooms, so I would imagine... But, you know, squigs also eat living things, so their smell might be a little bit gnarly, right? Yeah. I have no idea. We're just speculating in a wild fantasy setting here, but we do win the fight here. The Minotaurs are Itchy Nuisanced, which is going to be lowering their stat lines, and the Squig Hoppers can come across, Space Jam slam into those guys, and we're looking good. Yeah, Blorks. Yeah, Blorks is what we usually call them. Paul Blork Malkop. This is the best. Unstoppable Choppas for the flavor win. Chase these guys down. We got the Arachnarok Spider, which I unironically think was a decent pick. We'll send some Black Orcs back. Give you guys Itchy Nuisance here, run down these Skirmishers, come across here, jump on these guys, and Spider able to get it done. So now we can go after you, and Gorchad is going to come here too on some of these Black Orcs. Get him back in the pool. My opponent's sending, what, is that Corngors over there? Corngors versus Orcs, they will win that, so I need to send some reinforcements. We could probably just send some Squigs and a Spear. I think that'll be enough to hold that point. All right. Skirmishers, let's get them back. We don't need to throw them away. And Spider can go in and finish off the Exalted Hero. We'll finish off the Exalted Hero. And is there any chance we lose this back point? I don't think so. I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah, Squigs are great. They're solid. Solid units. One of the staples of the greenskins. I don't know if I would call them the best unit anymore, but for a long time I was kind of under the impression that Squigs were the best unit on the roster. I was like, yeah, they're just so solid. And I still think they are. Orcs are the best. Let's buff our Black Orcs. Let's charge here, attack here. Pull you guys back, and it looks like we potentially are going to lose that outside point. We can call in some Warlords boys. They can help secure that one. And we do win the side point, and we have a lot here as well. So we basically just have the entire map with a lot of Blorks in play as well. Pop a little wah. It's good for the, it's like chicken noodle soup. It's for the soul. All right, gathering up team. Those guys push back. Those guys push back. I kind of wish I was playing tonight. I was like, now I'm like, I wanted to cast and showcase some other players and whatnot, but now I'm like, man, I wish I was playing a little bit of greenskins tonight. That would be fun. Maybe next time. So the next tournament we do, I'll play some greenskins because I'm having a lot of fun with this kind of Black Orc style. Granted, it only really works against like Khorne. Otherwise, it's a little bit dodgy and haggard. All right, so let's take you guys. We're going to go over here with some of these units. And looking good, so set up shop. Halberds will get tar pitted. We got Black Orcs camping the back objective with Squig support, a couple of skirmishers. And we're now going to be getting this point most likely, although, oh man, those Squigs really got routed quick. So let's get a full surround. We're going to go around the back and around the back. Get a full surround on those guys. Should be able to break them. Yeah, give us your best WAs. That's right. Whoa, there we go. All right. So we need to call in the Swamp Things because they're pretty good. Swamp Things are a nice monstrous infantry. If Khorne goes for like Wrathmongers or, Bloodletter units, they're a pretty good call in there. All right, around the backside, we can charge these Khorne Gores, and now we're going to envelop them, and envelop them, and hopefully be able to take them down there. I don't know. With Big Man, I think we will. So he's going to get in and use his weapon, which lasts for how long? Duration is only 23 seconds, so we want to wait till he's a little bit closer on his hog. Now we're going to pop it. Black Orcs fighting Minotaurs, not normally the best fight for them, but I still think they'll be able to win it. We can rotate the Spider over there probably, keep everyone else on the middle. Outside objective goes to us. We got a triple cap here. And whoa, what the hell is this pathing? Oh my goodness. All right, Itchy Nuisance. Here we go. Squigs, come over there. And Gorbad is going to buff the stats of these units pretty hardcore. And wow, those Khorne Gores. Yeah, they have the Unbreakable trait. That's right. So that's what's keeping them fighting. All right, Minotaurs should be getting worn down by just the sheer numbers. Swamp Things go there. Let's get you guys to go here and unleash some Fanatics on them. Let's see if we can angle them off. I don't know. We might be able to. We kind of missed, unfortunately. All right, go there and there. Did the Greenskins win? Yeah, they're going to win. That's for sure. That is for sure. Go here, go here, go here. Get the Blorks in there. Call in some Baconators to deal with any mobility like the Chaos Harambes he just called in there. And on this side, we were able to overwhelm them as well. Little Itchy Nuisance. Never hurt anybody, right? All right, so GG. We just need to hold for a little bit longer. And yeah, we'll be good. So I'm not playing in the tournament. This individual I'm playing had a buy round in tonight's event, so I figured we'd play a game with him so we get some reps in there. And honestly, a lot of potential. I think his micro is good. He's been very elusive with his heroes, and his decision making with unit targeting has been nice. He's done a great job with his Blood Beast targeting, the Black Orcs, things like that. I just felt like if I were to give any critiques and any feedback to this player, it would be the army build. I just feel like the build was weak in a couple areas. The Blood Speakers are very off meta already. They're not like terrible, but yeah, I think it was mainly just the build had no answer for the Black Orcs. I think you need to mix in. Now, Black Orcs aren't the most meta thing, but against Greenskins you can expect them sometimes because Khorne doesn't have any magic to punish. Probably need to bring some Exalted Bloodletters, or maybe some. I mean, the Blood Beasts were the only answer, probably, actually. Yeah. He did good, though. Well played to my opponent, man. Great game, Pancake. Great game. The only thing, I would change a couple things with your build. I think you probably need to get some. I mean, you did have some anti-infantry with these characters. Against Greenskins, let me think about what I would bring. You won, report? No, I did not win. I mean, I won the game, but I'm not in the tournament. Okay, the round, we got one game still going. So we got Chris and Walnuts battling it out, and then we'll be good to go. So you played very well. You played very well, Pancake. Your micro was good. I just think your build had some weaknesses, for sure. Chaos Warrior Halberds aren't very good. In general, you would probably just want to go with Khorne Gores as your Halberd position. Yeah, the Black Orcs, oh my god, 1900 value on those ones. They did very, very well. The Spider was also pretty good too. No, Black Orcs are not, they're a super off meta, but against Khorne, they're actually used. That's like the one matchup you really get away with it. If I was playing Khorne into Greenskins, okay, if you put me in a tournament right now and I was playing Khorne versus Greenskins, what would I bring? So it's either going to be Grom the Paunch, probably Grom the Paunch, Gorbad, Azag would be the choices. I would probably even still lean into Valkia, because Sleipnir is really good and the Demon Shield is nice and she can fight the Biggin units. I would also probably recommend Bloodwake Berserker. They're just really tough to deal with. If you're going to be going for Cultist, like Infantry too, I would say probably double Khornate Cultist would be my route, and I would just go with the Gates of Khorne. Now, they don't have good AP, but they have Bloodletter summons, which you can get them behind the Black Orcs and they can do some nice work. I would probably play triple Marauder Horseman. That was one of your strongest things you had, was your Horsemen. Because they're really good against Greenskin. They're really good against Greenskin Cavalry, as well as any like trolls or monsters that they bring, because they do fire damage. So against the like troll equivalents, they're going to be very, very good. From here, you can open in with a couple Marauders, just something like this. In reserve, you're going to want to go mass, where the hell are those things? One more Horseman. You want mass Khorngors, because they're very good in this matchup. Your intuition about that was correct. Probably bring like a Bloodletter. Yeah, the Bloodletters are pretty decent against Greenskin Infantry. They beat all of them, basically. The Black Orcs, I don't know how the trade goes head-to-head, but go double Bloodletter. I did like the one thing Greenskins don't like Terror, so I'm trying to like figure out what the most cost-effective Terror would be in this build. You could also just go Skulltaker, to be honest with you. Like if you like Skulltaker more, he's a pretty good choice. Or a Herald of Khorne on a motorcycle. They're both totally viable. So you go like Herald of Khorne on Blood Throne. You keep Revel and Slaughter. You cut that, and you kit the Tormentor Sword and the Banner of Hellfire. What the hell does this shit do? Huh. Kind of interesting. Well, you don't really need it. So you just get him. Yeah, Herald of Khorne is probably safer. So you have him to wreck Black Orcs. You have the Bloodwake Berserkers and the Marauders. And then they're going to start calling in Cav and Squig, so you need to reinforce immediately using the Khorngors, right? Furies are always pretty good. You want to have a couple in your back pocket just to win fights in important areas. And the Blood Beasts are not a terrible choice. I do like the Minotaur you had. He just got overwhelmed, but I think it's a good choice having an anti-large Minotaur. And from here, you probably cut one of these. I'm trying to think what else we would want to get. And I actually didn't hate your Blood Beast, but you could do Hounds of the Flesh Hunt, but yeah, do we want an anti-infantry Minotaur? I think a generalist Blood Beast isn't terrible. Yeah, so something like this I think would be very good. And you know what's really cool is about facing Greenskins in general is you can go elite infantry too. If you wanted, you could go with like a Chosen if you wanted to, or bring in Slaughter Guard. This wouldn't be a terrible choice. The Slaughter Guard is very good against Greenskins. You can go fisticuffs with Black Orcs and beat them, and it will counter anything big. So, because Greenskins aren't like the best at killing elite infantry. I mean, they're okay at it, but yeah. And you can throw in a Slaughter Guard for flavor if you want. And honestly, it's not a terrible pick. You would need to call them out first because it's hard to justify calling them out late game. So you would want to save up, and your first call-in would be Slaughter Guard probably. Or you could throw them in the mainline build somehow. But yeah, copy this build if you want to, man. Screenshot it, whatever you're into. I think it's pretty good. Chariots are not that great in the Greenskin matchup, Spartan, because the Greenskins have... is the round done, by the way? Are those guys done? Okay, cool. So we're advancing to the next round right now. So Greenskins are really good at countering Chariots. They have a ton of mass. Chariots are good in some matchups, but not against Greenskins. Greenskins have a lot of cost-effective mass, and they're just going to target your Chariots, and you're going to have a bad time. All right, we're advancing the round to round 2, guys. And there we go. All right, so round dose is upon us. And poor Johnny Cash got the buy round. But hey, you take those wins where you can. All right, round 2 is upon us. Thank you guys for your patience. It's been fun playing tonight. And Goblins, round 2. All right, round 2 is live, and let's go find a game to cast, shall we? So we can do... How do we want to do this? What is it going to be? Let me see what Scrambled Egg is playing. I'm going to the declaration to see what homies are playing. Scrambled Egg's always fun. Let's watch him. Lobby, code, please. You could be playing Coast or Ogres or something. I have no idea. All right. Swan Knight says, I have a few questions about DAO replays from the last tournament. Can we send it to you on Discord? Or is there... No, you can just send me the replays and I'll potentially cast them. I would probably rather cast games that go a little bit longer in DAO, or that are more back and forth. The really rapid, that's one thing about DAO is that the games are over very quick in Dawn of War 1. Very quick. I know. I really realized that casting that last competitive tournament. I was like, God damn, these games end fast, man. We got some fun stuff coming up this weekend, by the way. F is lobby name, okay. Nope, get me out of there. And we need a spec slot. So I know it's been a hot minute, but this weekend on Saturday, we're going to be casting an Age of the Ring tournament. Age of the Ring. So I got to see what time that's all cooking at, but it'll probably be early in the morning, actually. I haven't tried Beyond All Reason yet. It's something that I will try at some point. Yeah. Okay, great. So we got that, and let's refresh. Here we go, and let's see what's cooking here. I know you're Ethron. I feel the same way. So we got Ogre Kingdoms. The Ogre Kingdoms. Yes. Is Age of the Ring just DAO, but Lord of the Rings? No, it's very different. Battle for Middle-earth was a very different style game. No, it's not an amateur tournament. It's a high-level tournament. Yeah, it's a high-level Age of the Ring tournament. Orange Pest is hosting it in our Discord. So we got Dark Elves versus Ogres. Usually I think it's pretty Ogre favored. I don't know. Maybe Claw can bring something really off-meta and weird and make it work, but... I mean, Danikin could probably win it on Dark Elves, but we'll see what Claw is going to be able to... Claw is a really fun player. He brings like these like Charybdis, Manticore, these strange builds. It's always fun. Machiavellian, I will maybe get into that someday. It is on the metaphorical back burner. Well, not back burner, but on the front burner. Whatever, you guys get it. All right, so we got Ogre Kingdoms versus Dark Elves. Gonna be fun. The Chunguses are here, and yeah, Leadbelcher is very strong. Glade of the Everqueen is going to be the map. We got a little bit of time going here, man. We got a little bit of time. Some very strong players playing tonight. We can go through the tournament roster, show you guys who is all signed up. So let's go here and do this. So Danikin, Anticity, Alexander Nuts. I mean, these are top 16 players right here. Other top 16 players. Abdelzerak is pretty high level too, I think. Sunshine can be very strong. I don't know how active they've been. Scrambled Egg is the top 16 player. Other top 16 players, I think we have, I think that's it. So we got 6 top 16 players playing tonight, give or take. So that means we're going to have a very good top 4. No, Pone hasn't played Total War in a long time. Yeah. Dude, Orange Pest, bro. You're starting at 6 a.m. Okay, let's talk about this. You're starting at 6 a.m. How many rounds are there going to be? Because I could I'm willing to get up then for you if there's no option. But yeah, that's pretty early. That's pretty early, a 6 a.m. stream. Are you a top 50 player for Total War? So at the moment, I don't really play in tournaments too much these days, but historically I've been top 16 of the world pretty consistently. There was like 4 or 5 seasons in a row where I was like ranked in the top 8, top 10, give or take. Yeah, but not anymore. I'm a little bit rusty now. I'm more of a gatekeeper. I just have to make sure. Do you feel bad? It's fine, Pest. It's fine. It'll be tricky. Do you have other Americans playing in the event? You probably have some East Coasters playing, I would imagine. Yeah, you probably have some East Coasters. Pone still retains his legendary Total War skills while he's not playing. It's true. The undefeated GOAT. I was playing some Co with him earlier today. It's 3 rounds, best of 3. Okay. How many players are signed up, Pest? Until quarters. You're the lore master, yes. We've been around many moons, Potato. We've been around many moons. It's so weird when you've been doing this for making YouTube videos and doing Twitch and whatnot. I just started doing Twitch, but when I go back and like watch live streams from like 8 or 9 years ago and see how different you sound and how much younger you look and stuff, it's like, for a lot of people, I mean, I guess you would have photos or maybe things on your old social media posts, but seeing like the full-on like video of it is weird. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, we were playing some Co3. I like Co3 a lot. I think it's fun for casual stuff. 2 Saturdays back to back, but we'll let people start later. Oh, so you have 2 weekends. So the whole tournament isn't tomorrow, Pest? Or on Saturday? You have 2 separate weekends of Age of the Ring? Who's the current Dark Lord of Warhammer 3? Anticity is probably, yeah. Anticity is probably the Dark Lord right now. I think him and Daniken are looking to be some of the favorites. Granted, Daniken, I don't know their range of factions. Are they as good as they are with Dark Elves? Because you can't play Dark Elves over and over in a highly competitive tournament. You know? I think it'll be the wild the shit will be for kids like 40 years from now. Oh my god, yeah. The AI is taking over. For nostalgia's sake, you sometimes go back and watch the Warhammer 1 videos. That's old school, dreaded Saurian. That's so old school. Yeah, I told you. Company of Heroes 3 Tyrannin is what I'm talking about. Co3. Yeah. Yeah, Pest, I'll call you later tonight and we'll coordinate and everything. Yeah, if you're around. All right. It is the dreaded double Charybdis. This is a forbidden off-meta build, and if there's any lead belchers, it's gonna be rough. Daniken chose Grand Cathay as a new faction main. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, Xenon, I'd love to see you in some of the tournaments. We'll be casting your games in no time, my friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, welcome to this extremely off-meta build here by Claw. So this player is known for 2 things. One thing, they fight to the bitter end. They don't give up. They usually they'll be stuffed back here and still fighting. And number 2, they bring very off-meta builds. All right, guys. It's going to be a Charybdis. Charybdises are anti-large monsters that do have a big leadership debuff, but they don't heal like Hydra, so that's the only downside of these bad boys. But, I mean, yeah, we'll see what they can do. I mean, in theory, they can kill ogre monsters. You do have Witch Elves, and on the other side is Sorceress of Fire with Burning Head, as well as Lokir Fellheart. Okay, so Lokir is a decent little character, fighter. He does heal passively because of the Kraken's Helm that he does have, but he has to be in melee, so it's not like a super, super strong one, but there you go. And on the other side, guys, we do have the Ogres. So Noblars, Lead Belchers. I believe it's going to be double Lead Belcher. Or is it just one? If it's only one Lead Belcher, oh man, those Charybdis are going to have such a bad time. There's a Lead Belcher and the Powder Guts. So basically what you do is you use Noblars as your frontline sacrifice, and then you bring in your shooting in the secondary with your Powder Guts and your Man-Eaters to bring down bigger targets, and you overwhelm the enemy infantry using your Ogre Bulls, which you want to stack on top of your Noblars to prevent the damage there. So, yeah. A Heaven's Caster going to be using Randon's Thunderbolt as well as Harmonic Convergence. That's very off meta, so there's not going to be any healing for the Ogres except Meat Feast, which is their army ability. Very interesting. A bit off meta with the Heaven's Caster, but everything else is pretty standard. We do have some Crushers with great weapons in the back as well. Crushers are anti-large fighters and very expensive, but them versus the Charybdis would be an interesting fight. I'm not sure who would win head-to-head. The Charybdis might get surrounded and a break on leadership, but it would be a fun one. Charybdis, do they have any missile resist? Let's go ahead and check. They do have 35%, so it's something, but that's still a lot of DACA. And the Dark Elves are a faction that is not known for its healing, so they're not going to be able to get the fat heals. Witch Elves are an interesting choice. They will rip apart Noblars, but Witch Elves are very low in armor and defensive stats, so they really don't want to be fighting things with big charge bonuses, right? Like Ogres, for example. Probably better to go Dread Spears, although I don't know, with Witches Brew active, you know, when they pop their Crunk Juice and start listening to some Little John, you know, they can do a lot of damage for sure if they don't eat that shock charge from the Ogres, but if they eat it, it's very, very tough for them. All right, guys, objective number 2 is going to be taken by the Witch Elves, and objective 3 is going to be taken by the Dork Elves as well very, very soon. And the Ogre is going to be using their range to poke up and do a little bit of DACA here, so we do see them moving in. Here they go. These guys are so cool. I love the Powder Guts. They have really long range, and their pistols can do some good damage, ripping some nice shots into the Witch Elves back here. You can see losing 10 models just with one volley there, so pretty damn cost effective. And the Dark Elves do get their clutches on the objectives, but dealing with this Ogre shooting is going to be very painful. Now, if you were in a situation like this against Ogres, what you'd want to do is pull back here and pull back here a little bit and make the Ogres advance up more to shoot you, build up a force in the woods, and then charge them all at once. You want to force the Ogres to have to move back as far as possible. Witch Elves are meta in a couple matchups. actually, believe it or not. They're very, very good in some matchups, but here I wouldn't say so. Cold One Chariots are going to be getting called out. This is a balls deep play, and it looks like Lokir is going to be landing, so the big man is going to be landing on the Powder Guts, and oh, that's not good. He's going to get attacked by the Crushers. So the Crushers are already in, and the Haggard Chariots are also terrible against Ogres, for the record. So that's a pretty blunderous pick here, if you ask me, by Claw. But, I mean, look, if you're going to charge him with Lokir, you kind of want to charge with everything at this point. So Lokir is battling Crushers. The other Charybdis is going to be charging the other Leadbelchers here, and it looks like the Crushers do get the Harmonic Convergence, which is going to be giving them a nice stat buff. And Lokir loses a lot of HP. He's definitely hurting right now. But yeah, if you're going to be pushing, I think you need Alpha Strike with such a build. Cold One Knight's brought in the back here, and the Chariots are just lurking in the shadows, while the Charybdis gets in melee and does manage to attack the Powder Guts here, and probably will be able to kill one of the Powder Gut models. We'll have to see. Powder Guts are trying to flee as the Charybdis tail whips one of them, knocks him down there, and does a lot of HP damage, but doesn't kill a lot of models there. Alright guys, Charybdis is in combat. These are Pigback Riders though, which are anti-large, and the Chariots get a nice little side charge there from Claw. The other Charybdis is going to be diving deep into enemy territory and looking to shut down what it can with its monstrous threat, while Lokir Fellheart pops the dreaded Duelist. He is very dreaded. Okay, and he's going to be landing and attacking into the back of these. Probably the best bet would be to call the Charybdis and get a Death Star of monsters, but the problem with Charybdis is they don't heal. So that's very, very tough. There is going to be a Burning Head coming down right here from the Dark Elves, and that's going to be hitting a couple Noblars, and that actually takes a decent angle, able to cook 2 Noblar units. And remember, Charybdis do have leadership discouraging effects. So there needs to be Witch Elves moving up to support, most likely. Cold One Knights coming in, Witch Elves sitting on the back objective here, and all the Dark Elf monsters are diving very, very deep in enemy lines. But look, Scrambled Egg Special is one of the best players in the entire world. He has been in pretty much every season final since the dawn of time, and he's playing one of the strongest factions in the game, bringing a relatively meta build. So you're not going to have a good time against it with double Charybdis, most likely. I mean, not to say it's impossible to win, but the odds are very low. All right, Charybdis number 1 is broken. Charybdis number 2 is fighting fisticuffs here with these bad boys. Going to be going up at it with the Crushers, and we'll give you guys some sweet cinematic shots. At the very least, you know, we're going to see a wild Charybdis in play. You know, we need to see them in action looking very, very cool. I think if I were to play Dark Elves in tabletop, granted they're a legacy faction, which is bullshit, but I would probably get a couple Charybdis because they're just so freaking rad. All right, so the Charybdis continues fighting. Sorceress is trapped here as well, which is very unfortunate. Ogres do have good mass. Claw definitely needs to retreat the Sorceress right now. Not having a good time at all. Bunch of the big ogres laying the clubs down. Lokir does get broken. The Powder Gut's putting some big firepower down. He's currently sitting at 700 HP. That Charybdis that was fighting there did get actually circle beaten and broken here. So things going to be taken down. Crushers are super good anti-large cavalry, so yeah, look, there's a lot of meat for the ogres on the bright side of things. They're going to be eating well. They're going to have Velociraptor cuisine. They're going to have dragons and potentially sea monsters. They got seafood. They got surf and turf. It's going to be an Ogre Kingdoms surf and turf battle. Now, not to say ogres can't, you know, be beaten by Dark Elves. Dark Elves have some builds that certainly could be good against them, but in this case, I do not think it's going to be the outcome the Dark Elves are looking for. As the value is 9,700 against 300. All right, guys, GG, well played. Scrambled showing why he is a dark wizard. Very, very evil. But hey, big shout out to Claw for bringing a very Giga Chad build and trying to make it work. But Hydras are way better. Hydras are just so much better. They have breath attacks. They have healing. Not that it would have changed the outcome of the game at all. Let's see, this looks good except the Cold One Chariots. Cold One Chariots are absolute trash against the Ogres. Just because the Chariots in general, Ogres, like a single Ogre infantry unit can just tarp hit your expensive chariot, you know, and keep it in the pits. So you're not going to have a good time with that. GG, well played. All right, guys. So we are going to jump out now, and we're going to head to the main menu, and we're going to go look at the rounds and see how we're looking on round dose. So there we go. Let's refresh this and see who's finishing. Anticity defeating Taurusin. Scrambled Egg Special getting his win. Johnny Cash needs a buy round point, and the rest of these games are still being played. Yes, and you did. It was very, very quick. Very one-sided there. So let me get Johnny Cash. I mean, Homie brought a pretty epic build. He brought double Charybdis against Ogres, but the Ogres just had some shooting and just killed it. So that was pretty much it. So we can talk about counter builds for the Dark Elves. I'm not great at the Dark Elves, to be honest. They're probably one of my worst factions in the game. I have pretty encyclopedic knowledge of most factions, except probably High Elves, Dark Elves, Wood Elves, and Grand Cathay, Tzeentch maybe. But aside from that, I don't really know the competitive builds for those factions too much. So we got that. Let's pull it up here and take a look. So if I had to be put in a tournament here and I was playing Dark Elves against Ogres, what would I bring? We've seen Dark Elf players try and use bolt throwers. I think honestly, like, you just gotta maybe try that, because the bolt throwers at least will get you decent incremental value, right? So Dark Elves here. He was obviously memeing a little bit, so we're not really criticizing his build. He was just having fun. Like we need Daniken here. Daniken needs to show up and show us what to do. Daniken, where are you at? And by the way, I think Daniken lives in Ukraine, so they're playing it like frickin' fucking 4 a.m. or something right now. Something bananas like that. Chariot build would have worked better if the Dark Elf said sub chariots for some spears. Yeah, so I think you got to go wide against the Chungus Kingdom. So probably Penta Dread Spear, Penta Bleak Sword, just like a very wide build out of the gates. I don't hate the idea of double Candidate Assassin, like really cheap assassin characters. You can go combat centric, like Malekith is an option. Malice Darkblade actually isn't terrible, because he's a decent little sticky character that heals and has 2 lives, so he's really hard to snipe. Let's see here. Hey, Oliver, thank you for the donation, man. I actually unironically think Malice is decent. And you can go with the Sorceress from here. Sorceress, what Lore of Magic do you want? Death is pretty good. Beast is also nice. You can do Flock of Doom spam. Lore of Fire, I do like that, though. Lore of Fire, I think he was onto something. Using that to... You could use Piercing Bolts of Burning to kill Ogre models, or Burning Head to clear Noblars. I think it's pretty viable. And also Fireball isn't terrible just to, if you get their Lord low for some reason. All right. My dog? Which one? Wookie? Wookie croaked many years ago. But Lola, she's doing great. All right, so probably maxing out on those. You're probably going to want to max out on basic Dark Riders too, because you want a Dark Rider swarm to try and tarp it the shooting units. Although it's tricky because they have Saber Tusks. And then a couple of Cold One Spear Riders would be nice. Medusa's in this matchup probably just going to get shot in the face and have a pretty bad time of it. And you could even consider, let's see, Elite Infantry are going to have a bad time against Leadbelcher, so I think you need to go wide. Maybe we just do go double Bolt Thrower here. So we need to find a little bit of money. So yeah, we just got those items. Cool. So Bolt Throwers trade well into Leadbelchers, so you just sit them on the Leadbelchers the whole game, basically. And then your reinforcements. You could throw in like a Shade and get a little bit hog wild. You know, 1 or 2 Dark Shards in the late game isn't terrible if you have a little bit of battlefield agency. Maybe just like 1 Dark Shard for utility. Crows of Cain, Harpies, and Scourge Runner Chariots in this matchup are all right. I feel like they're a bit of a trap here. Could be wrong. Oh, I'm missing something very important. Feral Mancores are amazing heat-seeking missiles. They're dirt cheap, and you just send them after your... Yeah, we cut that, and we get another Manticore. So this is probably what I would bring if I were in the tournament as Dark Elves against the Ogres. Yeah, Bolt Throwers are decent against Ogres. They're not, like, amazing, but look, they give you consistent damage. And you can also, if you want to, really work the Leadbelchers down. You go Deathcaster with Spirit Leech and Buna. Probably just Spirit Leech is fine, right? And then you spam Spirit Leech from downtown. You can put it on a Dark Steed here. So you overcast Spirit Leech on the Leadbelchers, shoot them, and you can wear them down quicker than you'd think. Your infantry are going to lose most of the fights, but then once the Leadbelchers are compromised, you can call in. So you shoot them with Bolt Throwers, you chase their shooting with Feral Mancores because you don't really care, and Harpies, they're all throwaway units. And then you get your value with the Dark Riders coming in, and, you know, Malice can do some work too. So I think that is probably the direction I would lean if I were playing. And I think it would be viable for sure. Okay, a couple more games are finishing. It looks like that's going. How many rounds do we have tonight? I think we have 5 rounds. It's a 5-rounder tonight. A nice, thick 5-round tournament. Wookie needs an invocation of Nehek. He does. Yeah, he was a good little goblin, man. He was a good dog. We rescued him from Utah, actually. So I saw him online at a rescue shelter in Utah when I live in California, and I was like, that gremlin, he must be there. Let me find you guys some good Wookiee pictures from when we got him. Oh man, there's some good ones. Yeah, he was not in great shape when we rescued him, but we nursed him back to health, and he was able to do pretty well. There we go. Hold on. I'm creating an album for you guys here. These are great pictures. This is for your dog, not for you, Turin. Buy Bony Goodies. So the Spark, I really appreciate that donation, number one. But unfortunately for you, my dog doesn't have any teeth because she's a very old Chihuahua. I'll buy her some delicious, like, soft food on your behalf. Yeah, Chicken's not that old. She's 13, but, you know, she's still very active. But her teeth, you know, small dogs often have issues with their teeth. So that was that. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah. I got a lot of good pictures here, guys. We're getting the full Monty here. Yeah, I think that's that. All right, here we go. All right, so here's one picture here. This was Wookie, I guess, shortly after we got him. And I will die on this hill that I think he looks like James Hetfield from Metallica. Look at, he's got like the 1990s James Hetfield load reload freaking beard going on there, right? Come on. Here's another one. This is a good one here. This is him sitting on my lap when I think I was at a computer many moons ago. Yeah, he was a good creature. He was very weird looking. He was like kind of like Quasimodo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, this was Wookie and I at the beach. He hated it. He hated the ocean, but there was like a little like shallow reef that he jumped in, and he was like, "Get me the hell out of here." Yeah, he was a good dog. Then this is a classic Wookie picture. Very, very Ewok like for sure. All right, well there you go. There's the Wookiee slideshow there. And he was a noble creature. Oh, I have a great one here. Hold on. So this is Wookie and I like right after we got him. There we go. Let's find this. Yeah. So that was Wookie and I, like, I think maybe like a year after we rescued him, maybe like 6 months, give or take. Yeah. He was a good creature. So there he is in all of his majestic glory. All right. So enough of that, and let's see how the round is going. We've had our nostalgia session here, and let's refresh the brackets. And we have 3 rounds still to go. Yeah, so we got Pancake playing Alexander Nuts. He didn't bark at all. He was very quiet. He only barked when we would like leave. Yeah. All right, so we got Potato in general, and Abdelzerak and Walnuts, and then Kinetic and Empire still playing their games. Cool. Of course, Anticity crushing all his foes that come before him. I'm going to cast a Daniken game. I think Daniken's playing Grand Cathay tonight. So, yeah, that's going to be the game plan here. Yeah. Wookie, when he got old, his back legs gave out. So we used to carry him. I mean, he could walk around the house, but in terms of like going outside, he would have some problems. So we used to carry him around in like a backpack, and people would think he was like a teddy bear and stuff. It was pretty great. All right. Cool. There we go. Did you ask for the rescue the most Nurgle creature? I mean, we didn't ask for it, but we just tend to get the most cursed Nurgle creatures. When my wife and we rescue. And we have, our other dog is a rescue too. Let me see if I could find it. I don't have too many pictures of her online. Let me see if I could find some in Discord or something. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it was pretty good, Bearded Gamer. The next dog, I'm gonna when eventually we're gonna rescue another doggy, and we're gonna get the most decrepit, 3-legged, one-eyed beast that you can find, and I don't know what we're gonna name it, but those are my kind of dogs, man. You know, they always have the most personality, a lot of unique character, and yeah, very funky. Come on, hey, how dare you, Big Brown Bear? You take that back, dude. He was a noble creature. All right. Does anybody in chat have pugs? Wookie had a lot of mannerisms of pugs, like pug dogs in general. I don't know. Does anybody own a pug? You know how they kind of like tilt their heads when you talk to them and stuff? He was like that. I think he was part pug. Yeah. 89 your days. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, our other Chihuahua is a terrier. She's got a lot of issues. You have a 3-legged cat? Nice. Sail in the 7 seas, the pirate animals. All Our other dog is afraid of, let's see, what is she afraid of? So she's afraid of stairs. So if there's like a staircase, she like trembles before like jumping over it instead of like walking up it. She's afraid of see-through water bowls. So if there's like a bowl of water and it's a see-through bowl, then she'll get afraid and she won't drink water out of it. So you have to give her like a specific bowl. In general, she's just afraid of bowls. She just like doesn't like rat, like if you put her food on like a plate or her water in like a saucer, like a flat kind of like bowl, she'll drink out of it. But like regular bowls, she's like afraid of them. It's the most troll shit ever, I swear. All right. What do we got here? Yep, still waiting on the games. All right, we got some time. We can go into a lobby here and see what builds we got. I think we were working on a Chaos Dwarf builds. Yeah, I was working on Chorf builds. I think I have a Kislev build for every matchup now, guys. Yeah, I have a Nurgle build, the tabletop things. We can delete these. I'm not going to need those for now. Probably can those out. Okay. The bulls are haunted, I know. Man, so my wife is back in Poland right now visiting her family, and I've been binge watching The Walking Dead again. It's so easy to forget how good the first season of The Walking Dead was. So good. Man, it was awesome. And the first time you like hear that Walking Dead soundtrack come on, you're just like, dude, oh, it's such a timeless thing. Oh, Hemerick, I'm going to play the hell out of Might and Magic Golden Era. We're going to go balls deep on that. Oh, that's a good question, Xbox. I'm not sure. Yeah. No, I'm not playing Skaven again for a while, guys. The beating I took in that tournament, it was traumatic. I'm not going to play Skaven again for a hot minute. Okay, one game. We just got up Delzerak versus Walnuts, and then we should be good to go. Okay. We got to do this. And we need to do one admin thing here real quick. And that's going to be Ricochet. Okay, so no more buy round anymore. Salty Scarab, you're playing Skaven. Are you suffering for your sins over there? All right, and then we need to adjust these points. I hear the Dixon spinoff series is decent. I finished the original show, but I haven't watched any of the spinoffs. Early Walking Dead season was awesome. Wish they could have kept it fresh somehow. Yeah, I mean, it gets pretty... It's really interesting in The Walking Dead to see the... how, like... There's a scene in The Walking Dead season 1, okay? Where they're traveling on the... with an RV, they're traveling on the highway. They're trying to get to Fort Bennett. They're trying to get to a fort. I can't remember the name. Fort Bannon or something. And Sophie, Carol's daughter, runs off into the woods, and Rick goes to save her. And Rick ends up finding her and trying to carry her away from the zombies. But he's like, hey, I'm getting tired. I need to fight these walkers, so I'm going to hide you in this little like swamp while I fight the walkers, right? And just seeing the extent to which the characters like struggle with walkers in the earlier seasons compared to later on when like walkers are just like a meme later. It's like everybody who has like a screwdriver can just like handle like 10 of them, you know? I kind of like that about the earlier seasons. How they're able to, like, the walkers are more menacing. I mean, understandably, you know, they get more seasoned, they become better fighters. The walkers get more decrepit over time. Shane OP. Yeah, the whole Shane arc was a little bit depressing, right? How they were like best friends and that. But yeah, I mean, that's part of what makes it great. Yeah. Only if it's a flathead. If it's a Phillips, you're screwed. Yeah. All right. But regardless, I enjoyed it. I mean, I still... zombies is my favorite archetype. I think zombies is like a horror movie. I just love zombie stuff. You know what's really fun? All right. Here, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want to hear your answers. How many of you guys watch zombie shows, and one of the things that you enjoy most about zombies and post-apocalyptic survival shows against monsters and in general is power fantasies about how you would survive it with your homies? I think that's one of the things that's the most fun about the genre is like watching it and immersing yourself in that setting and being like, yeah. When you were a teenager, big time. Yeah, now as you get older, you're like, oh, I don't know about that. That looks like it sucks pretty bad. Especially in the Georgia summer heat, you're like, God damn, that looks rough. All right, guys, we got the next round. Now you just die, right. Now that my cardio sucks. Yeah. And just like forming haggard militias and just like scavenging and doing all that. I don't know. Nah, man, I'm a walker. I died in like, you would die 2 days in. That's the reality for most people, right? Like all of us bros here are like, yeah, dude, I'd F that zombie up, dude. Like, yeah, you would just be like dead in like 2 days or something. You like sprain your ankle and just get tired and not find food and water and shit, you know, just be horrible. All right, we're advancing to the next round. That's the entire reason to watch it. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Already have a plan about how to fortify your spot. Exactly. If you live in a city, you're cooked. I mean, there's people in The Walking Dead who survive in the cities for sure, you know? All right, guys, we got this and we're on round 3. Thank you guys. Welcome to the TED Talk. The hardest part about the apocalypse for you, says Mason, would be pretending not to be a little excited. Oh man, yeah. All right, so we got round 3. We're gonna do a Daniken game. So Daniken right now. So Daniken, drop lobby code, please. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna cast Daniken here. We're gonna see what's cooking right now. Okay, it all depends on the type of zombie, though, guys. Hey, Backstab, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. If we're talking Walking Dead or George Romero zombies, okay, we can swing it. You know, but if we're talking 28 days later zombies, screw that shit. You know, screw that. That shit sucks. They're like track stars. They just never get tired. They last forever. No, thank you. The ones in 28 days later, no. No, thank you. Do widzenia. Dobro notes. Sayonara. Oyasumi nasai. I don't want any of that shit. All right. So we're going to get the lobby code from Daniken. I'm headed to the Raccoon City police station. Yeah. No zombies, I'm too weak, yeah. All right. Big zombie enjoyer, 2 of my top. Yeah, I love zombie stuff. Well, in the books for World War Z, the zombies aren't sprinters like that, Gornier, to my knowledge. Like, I've read the World War Z books, and I've also read the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. I don't think they're freaking track stars, and I can't remember. I mean, I think they move at a reasonable speed, but they're not like Usain Bolt sprinters, you know? Yeah. Yeah, oh, dude, that's the worst scene in 28 Days Later. I was so bummed out about that. In the original 28 Days Later, they meet the SWAT officer, remember, and his daughter? That was my favorite character, the SWAT officer, the huge guy with like the red beard. He was so good. And then like he's just like at the train station and he looks up and the blood drops in his eye. I was so bummed. That was like such a brutal scene. You're just like, God damn, dude. That was the worst. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and the Max Brooks novels are not fast, right? So the movie changed it to make them scarier, which I wasn't a big enjoyer of. That movie wasn't great, but it's like, it's just, yeah. There's so many bad zombie movies, man. There's so many. I like slower zombies that are like inevitable doom. I think that's much scarier and much more fun. I mean, it depends. 28 Days Later did it really well, but it's kind of a different trope. Like the way that they're done and the whole rage virus thing. They're not, yeah, that's a very, they did it well. But in general, I like the medium speed shamblers that like are a consistent threat that will like shamble and overwhelm in numbers. Yeah. Marvel Zombies, I don't know anything about that. Slow but unending. Yeah, the Poxwalker trope. Yeah. Train to Busan is good. Yeah, Korea. Dude, you know who doesn't mess around with zombie movies is Asia. Like, Asian zombie movies are so good. I think the Asian extras who play the zombies in the movies, whether it be in Korea or I've seen some Southeast Asian ones as well, those guys are so good at playing zombies. I don't know what it is, but they just go the extra distance. Like those guys in Train to Busan, and like they're like throwing their bodies against walls and shit, and you're just like, God damn. Yeah, it's they take it. Oh, Kingdom is amazing. I love Kingdom. Yeah, the Korean one, the Korean period piece with zombies. Oh, it's so good. So good. Funny we mentioned Nurgle about Dislice and Darktide. Yeah. Man, I could go on about zombie movies. Yeah. The power of fantasy. I live in a small town where there's only like one road in and one road out on the other side. No, there's two roads in, but they're on the opposite sides of the town. So back when Walking Dead came out, me and my homies were like, we used to like talk about how it would be fortified, and oh, it was so fun. Yeah. Asian movies know how to make horror movies that have emotional weight and suspense. Oh, for sure. Korea has amazing zombie movies. They do. Yeah. The Zombie Survival Guide has some major misinformation in it. There's some element. Yeah, there's some interesting tips in the Zombie Survival Guide. I like the Asian movie Sadness is the only zombie movie to ever make me so unnerved I turned it off. Okay, so Sadness movie zombie. Okay, is it called this? It's called The Sadness. Oh, wow, that looks pretty scary, actually. Okay, maybe I'll watch that later. The Sadness. Okay, hold on, let me save this here. Thank you. Yeah, I love zombie stuff, so I haven't seen that one. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. The first rec was really good. Are you talking about the one that was, I think it was like somewhere in South America they made it? I can't remember. Oh, I love The Thing. The Thing is great. It's not really a zombie movie, but it's really good. Godzilla is the greatest one. Asian horror movie. Dude, OG Godzilla. All right, guys. Anyways, we've had our fun ranting about zombie movies, and here we go. Let's break it down. One thing I really liked about the World War Z books is the geopolitical element of it, like seeing how different countries handle the zombie apocalypse. And that was also something that was kind of fun in the early Romero movies, is seeing like, you remember when they're going to the mall and they're flying over in the helicopter or whatever, and you see all like the American like country folk like fighting them off and hunting them in trucks with like shotguns and shit. You're like, yeah, that's probably how that would go. Like it's just like, seeing each country's reaction, right? And then I'm pretty sure in the World War Z books they're like, yeah, North Korea didn't have much of a problem because they're so isolated and they don't have like tourism and people spreading traveling there to. It's very interesting. All right. Anyways, guys, let's get back to this. Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, welcome to this round 3 match between the forces of Grand Cathay and the Bray Herd, the Beastmen. All right. So, in the front line for Daniken Trop, Celestial Dragon Chads. Oh, Daniken's just trying to be our favorite player and they're succeeding. It's going to be Celestial Dragon Guards, backed up by Jade Warrior Halberds, a halberd line, essentially, with Jade Lancers, and I think I saw a Bomber Mob in there. Am I crazy? I don't know. Let's see. Jade Lancers, Nangao Grenadiers, a Metal Caster with... Oh, just bringing the Metal Caster only for the Master, or for the Amplification, as well as the Elemental Winds. Then up in the sky, we have a Dragon-Blooded Shugengin Lord here, who is going to be rocking the Breath attack, the Dragon's Breath, which is really excellent at clearing out just cheap infantry and whatnot. All right. On the far side of the battlefield, guys, it is going to be Walnuts Aren't Tree Nuts, and it's going to be Zangors. Zangors are decent against Cathay. Pestigors are also very good, too. There's kind of an argument for both. The Zangors are going to be exponentially more durable against shooting and will last longer, but the Pestigors actually can put a better dent into the halberds and those type of units. Unga Bunga Raiders, you don't really want to leave home without these. We have 2 Ungor Raiders right here. And on the backside, we got Razorgors, Minotaurs, as well as Malagor the Dark Omen with Flock of Doom. All right, guys. Stentagors the Throwing Axe is also quite nice. Vanguard on the far side, couple cheap spears, probably just to contest the objective and do a little bit of poking here. And ladies and gentlemen, the battle is now on. Unfortunately, did these guys choose the most similar banners on purpose? Look at this. They literally have the exact same banners almost. It's like black and red. The trim, thankfully, is different, so we'll be able to tell there. But, man, Daniken with the steel chair. Look at the magic. My goodness, the amplified Dragon's Breath melting those Ungor Raiders and doing some decent damage against the Gore Herds as well. I don't hate that. So, Beastmen grabbing Objective 3, and Objective 2 is going to be going to Grand Cathay as well. Meanwhile, we do see the Dragon-Blooded Lord flying away, and we do have the cockfight up in the sky. It's going to be Malagor. Oh my god, he Mantle of Goroks himself? What? The Mantle of Gorok on Malagor the Dark Omen. I mean, but he's not going to be able to catch the Shugengin Lord, which I think is about the same speed, but Daniken is going to be using the dreaded Eastern European Micro here and moving back and forth and dodging those. And another shot right there, guys. Man, oh man, look at that. The Dragon Breath melting the Ungor Raiders is so good. All right, so Dragon-Blooded Lord going to be running away while Jade Lancer is setting the objective, and Grand Cathay moves its halberd box up. On the backside, we have the Graces of Kuai Yin, which are the Arwar Celestial Dragon crossbows. They do a lot of damage. We'll see what they can do. For Walnuts Aren't Tree Nuts, we are going to be getting the jetted cockatrice here. So the big old cock is going to be coming to battle and flying in there and looking to petrify its opponents with its phallic tail right there. We'll see. But it does have the snare ability. We'll see if it comes into play. Nice Flock of Doom there from Walnuts Aren't Tree Nuts. That's going to be very nice. Flock of Doom hitting multiple units and doing some respectable chipping damage against the Celestial Dragon Guard, as well as the Nangao Grenadiers and the Jade Warrior Halberds. So right now, as it stands, the Beastmen do have the 2 objectives. It is going to be on Grand Cathay to move up and try and contest these 2 points. Now, what is he going to be doing with his cock here? I'm not sure. It looks like he's swinging it around, maybe looking to hunt down the Dragon-Blooded Lord and try and petrify it with its snare. I mean, that could be a play. Hunt down the Dragon-Blooded Lord, use the Petrify, and then use the Mantle of Gorok to buff the Cockatrice, and then attack with Malagor the Dark Omen. I mean, there's plenty of options here, guys. We'll have to see. Beastmen, in the meantime, as well, going to be stealing this point. So we do see objective number 1 here is going to be going to the Bray Herd. So there it goes. Cathay, strangely enough, not contesting it. I mean, he's very comfortable to just play this style of slow pushing here. The Graces of Kuai Yin, yes. Putting firepower down into the Centaurs right there. And stop staring at my cockatrice. Yes, of course. Good stuff. Another Flock of Doom activated, and Cathay is going to have to sound the Horn of War eventually. The Beastmen do have the defensive posture, which is very funny to see the Beastmen being the defenders against Cathay, but it is what it is. And Grand Cathay just slow pushing. Very, very slow. Using this one elite archer just to move up and drop some firepower down. They do have those cool repeater crossbows and are putting some DACA, but not able to break through the shields of the Cockatrice, as it is able to retreat right there. But Cathay really needs to get this objective back, and they're going to. Jade Warrior Halberds, and the Nangao Grenadiers going to move up, and the Grenadiers potentially going to put some big hurt down right here. We'll have to see how this goes. Oh, Celestial Lion's called out. All right, Lion-O versus the Cockatrice. All right, should be fun. Nangao Grenadiers about to drop it like it's hot, most likely, although they're not giving an attack order, so we'll see if they actually do throw. Cathay going to be getting an objective, but they are down about 300 points, playing a bit of a dangerous game here for sure. And now we get the first grenade salvo, and it is going to be doing a lot of damage against these guys, and it looks like the spears are going to be charging them. So the Beastmen, breaking formation very quickly here, but the Nangao Grenadiers getting a nice salvo and melting quite a few of them as they do approach in. They've lost 20 or 30 models now, give or take. Jade Warrior Halberds are going to move up and fight them. The rest of the Cathay army. So here's how Cathay wins this, by the way. They need to basically get to objective 2 before it becomes a triple cap situation. At that point, then they can just sit there and win the game with their defense. But if they take too long, then they have to get a triple cap. Oh, that breath was so good! That's a cheap spell, by the way, and look at the value it got. Zangors, Centaurs with throwing axes getting melted. I mean, man, Daniken is so money with these abilities. I'm really, really excited to see Daniken in the next World Championship. We're going to be having that relatively soon, by the way. So that is going to be very, very fun indeed. On the backside, Celestial Lion here hanging out. The Petrifying Gaze is activated, so that does snare down the Celestial Lion, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up, unfortunately. Beastmen do get some throwing axe pressure, but nothing too crazy. Cockatrice going to be coming in from behind here and attacking the Celestial Lion. Who wins in a straight fight? The Cockatrice is a poison monster, so it probably wins. And we do see the Lion-O getting forced back there. So Cathay better hurry, man, and they better start pushing. The longer they play this, I think it's going to be a little bit dangerous for them. That is for sure. 2v2 up in the sky. Malagor the Dark Omen getting bullied a little bit, and that would be a huge throw. Walnuts has been playing a pretty good game so far, and if you were to throw away the game but just letting Malagor go into the pits, that would feel really, really bad for them. All right, on the other side, Beastmen getting some Zangors. Maybe thinking about doing a little flankaroo right there. And the Beastmen did try and get around the side with some Centaurs. They came around the flank, but were intercepted by the brave cavalrymen here of Grand Cathay, which should be able to beat them. Centaurs with great weapons have basically no melee defense. It's pretty pitiful, so they will lose pretty bad against 2 units like this. More of a shock cav unit. Value favoring Daniken pretty heavily. Daniken just kind of squeezing the Beastmen army of value like a sponge here, and it is getting closer and closer. Celestial Lion close to breaking. Cockatrice flexing its muscles, but is going to need to retreat from that. Daniken is up almost double in value, which makes sense. This was a pretty big blunder here by the Beastmen, throwing a Centaur over here, although it does get a Jade Lancer down to almost death. So, okay, maybe not the worst trade in the world. But the breath attacks have been pretty brutal, and the inevitable machine of Grand Cathay marches forward. They are moving, and a-grooving. Throwing axes getting good value as well. They are chipping down some of the Grand Cathay monsters. The Cockatrice is broken, but will come back most likely since it's not being chased. Malagor needs to run. Daniken has some of the best micro, I think, in the community. It's very, very good. And is going to need to flee right here. So Malagor is going to be trying to escape. And in the meantime, the battle is now on. And the Graces of Kuai Yin are shooting into the Minotaurs. And the Bray Herd is going to be sounding the Horn of War. There they go. Firepower is coming in. This is an awesome looking game right here. As you can see, the Minotaurs surging forth. There they go. They got a lot of arrows in their shields, but they are going to break through the front lines and get on top of the archers. However, Cathay's disciplined formations are going to be forming ranks with their halberds and looking to move forward as we do get to 782 points right here, ladies and gentlemen. Grand Cathay still maintaining its defensive posture. See, they still have a bit of a formation, which is nice. And it looks like the Beastmen going to be trying to rotate around the flank here. But the Jade Lancers probably going to be ready to intercept them. And, Zangor's now getting in the fight as well. Zangor's will be able to fight okay against Peasant Horsemen, as Cathay does drop some Jade Lancers in. And during that position, they do use the Jade Shield, giving 57% ward save, which is so nice. And Heaven's Flash activated by the Nangao Grenadiers. Wow, what a good combo. Using the Nangao Grenadiers free debuff to nuke the stats on these Razor Gores, allowing the Jade Lancers to dominate them in combat. What a clean play, man. Really, really nice. All right, guys, more Jade Lancers fighting versus the 2 Centaurs. Should be a bit of a even match there. Grand Cathay still has not gotten the objective yet, though, guys. Beastmen are approaching 1,000 points. The elite archers of Grand Cathay, the Graces of Kuai Yin, are still online, and they are melting the hell out of these guys. And now Grand Cathay is going to be sounding the drums of war and moving up to grab objective 2. Meanwhile, in the sky, the Celestial Lion, as well as the Dragon-Blooded Lord, going to be hanging out in pretty good shape, and I think Grand Cathay is looking pretty good in this game, guys. Daniken is crushing most of the trades here, that is for sure. And Minotaur is getting forced back here. Centaur is getting forced back as well. Daniken looking to be very, very dominant. Beastmen have a little bit of a presence here on the side with some Zangors, but that's basically it. Most of the Centaurs have been broken, and somehow Palpatine Cathay has returned, and their formation is still very much intact. The Nangao Grenadiers are melting down the advancing units. And Grand Cathay, I mean, yeah, that's some really cool Grand Cathay play, man. I love when high-level, top-tier players take on weaker factions, and, like seeing Anticity play them, seeing Daniken play them, it's always so much fun to see what they can come up with. And sometimes they'll show people that they're not actually weak factions, they just haven't been explored enough, which is wild, considering this game's been out for 100 years. All right, objective number 2, going to go to Grand Cathay. Objective number 1 as well. And as far as reserves go, we do have some Peasant Horsemen lurking in the back. Another breath attack right there, going to be cooking some Zangors, and the Cockatrice now is going to be getting a taste of its own medicine, as it is 2v1 here. Malagor going to be buffing it, but unfortunately, that's not going to be helping too much. It is going to break. Malagor going to be casting Flock of Doom to cancel that spell, and the Cock has been beaten here. It is going to be getting chased by the old Dragon-Blooded Lord here. 1 HP, Cockatrice is taken down, and the chicken has been choked for the last time, and it is going to be descending from the skies. All right, that'll be enough of those jokes tonight, unless we see another one. We'll see. All right, Cathay has that objective, and Cathay also has objective 1, and honestly, Cathay is so well ahead on value now that probably they're going to be able to find a way to get objective number 3. They have a lot of time left, guys. So basically, the green player is getting 1 victory ticket per second as it currently stands. So Cathay can really, really just be methodical, take their time, push up, and they'll get it eventually. All right, guys. So looking pretty good for the Dragon-Blooded Lord. Down on the ground, Centaurs the throwing axes still chipping away. And a couple Centaurs back here lurking. Crowmen going to be chasing those bad boys. And ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? Objective beginning to flip as Peasant Horsemen do rout off these Zangor defenders with some Crowmen. Really haven't seen a lot of Crowmen in this game. I was expecting some more of those, but yeah, they're here now. The Graces shooting into the Minotaurs. The Minotaurs will be countered pretty hard. The Mark of Yin activated on them, lowering their armor down to nothing, basically, and making them quite a bit weaker. Wow, the breath attacks have been so good, but so too have the Flock of Dooms from Walnuts Aren't Tree Nuts. Well played to Walnuts. Stepping up, playing one of the best players in the world, and putting up a very good fight. Forcing Daniken to play very, very tight, making him work for it a little bit. So that objective's going to be flipping. We have 11,000 value, and that's going to be victory for the Burning Wind Nomads and Grand Cathay. All right, guys. Very fun match. I hope you enjoyed that one. I thought that was quite great. And we are going to carry on, my wayward son. There will be peace when you are done. All right. So, what did well for the Beastmen? I think maybe Pestigors needed a little bit of armor piercing in the front. I think the Cockatrice was all right. I think that was there to deal with the blimps, maybe. In case there was like a blimp build, having a Cockatrice would have been very nice. Malagor not bad. Probably just need a lot more infantry to swarm. I think I think you can't let Cathay get that foothold against Cathay. I really like overwhelming them with huge numbers out of the gates. Just my kind of style. We'll do a theory build here, but look at the value. 3,800 value on that Dragon-Blooded Lord with just those breaths in combat. That's insane. Celestial Dragon Guard, they held, right? They held, and everything else kind of did its job. The Graces got 1,600 value as well. Very, very nice stuff. All right, guys. So let's see what's cooking now. We're going to check the round. Looks like it's getting there. So let's talk about a counter build for the Beastmen. If I was playing Beastmen against Grand Cathay, we can make this a tradition where whichever side loses, we can theory craft and provide a little bit of feedback, which hopefully will be helpful for people learning the game. All right. the limp value from the cockatrice, yes. Yes, it was very limp. All right. So against these guys, against Cathay, I like Malagor. I think Malagor was the correct choice. Pendulum is good to mix in against Cathay, though, because if they line up their halberds, you can get a shit ton of value. It's pretty nuts. Aside from that, Something Wicked, cut this. Unholy Power is fine. Bestial Surge, you can probably cut that. Cut that. And Arcane Conduit, you can really go bare bones if you're just spamming Flock of Doom. So, aside from that, how do we do this? Probably front line of just dirt cheap spears. From here, what kind of infantry do we want to get? Are we going to go Shielded Gores? Just the swarm. And how well are they going to trade, though? So a couple of these, and then do we max out on Pesties? I think Pestigores would be really nice against like halberd spam. So how many of these can we bring? Okay. So switch that. Cut one of those. Great. Okay, so out of the gates, this is like the opening. And then from here, I do like the Ungor Raiders, though. I think the Raiders are good. I think you need them. It's hard to deal with that freaking Lord flying over your head, though, for sure. That looked like it was a bit of a tricky situation. And then maybe Centaur maxing. Although the Great Weapon Centis are pretty good in this matchup, so probably they are expensive at 1,000, though. They're not cheap. Maybe a couple basic ones just to contest the field. Harpies to shut down shooting. Butchers of Kalkengard are not terrible, but I think against Cathay, honestly, I'm almost thinking like Bestigors might not be bad also. Harpies should be able to tar pit Air Force, so 3 of them. Cut you, maybe slip in a freaking Bestigor just for like taking it from the far side. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Bestigors have made some weird appearances lately. Unironically, a Cygor would have been very, very good. Yeah, Jade Lances will chomp your regular Centaurs, but you don't engage them. You run away, you fight the peasants, and you're chasing range units. Maybe just 2 is fine. Get like a 3rd Great Open or something. Or you could go Piggies. The pigs, the Razor Gores could also be a viable choice. I think I saw you using them pretty effectively. Centaurs with throwing axes are amazing, actually. So I think you want to maybe throw in another one of those if you can. So 1 pig. I think you need a couple hound units, maybe 1 hound unit just to chase. Like try and get on like an Angau Grenadier. You can use the Chaos Warhounds for that. 2 Harpies is probably adequate since you have Malagor. It's so funny how like devastating a Cygor would have been against that build. It would have been devastating. But like you don't think to ever bring it, right? You could do like foot infantry. That Cathay build didn't have anything that was good against foot characters. So one option, you could cut these 2, and then you could go double Wargore on foot. Cathay hates foot characters. They would use the Celestial Lion against you. That's what they would be trying to do. But you could go double Wargore on foot. I don't know. Something like that. I would like to get another Centaur Throwing Axe, probably. You have good disruption. You have good diving. Decent infantry support. 1 more Centaur Throwing Axe would be really nice. So maybe we cut this guy, get 1 more Centi Throwing Axe, which is just God tier against those units. And then we could just get like a couple filler chaff units to fill things out. 1, 2, and then we can get you, and then we got 300, so it's a very awkward amount of money. So we'll get a shielded one, and then just one of these guys probably is fine. Something like this. This isn't it's a different format card. We're back to our normal format, which is single faction tournament. So players change their builds every single game. You tailor, yeah, it's a standard tournament. I like this, actually. I think the double Wargore would be very annoying for Cathay to handle out of the gates, because halberds are dog shit at killing these kind of units. You have more armor piercing. You have some anti-air. With Harpies, Harpies can chase, can get on top of the Nangao Grenadiers. Although I feel like Chroma and Bully Harpies pretty hard. There is that variable. That's right. Still, I think it's probably worth it, but Crowmen are going to bully you pretty good here. But you have a lot of objective swarming and a lot of aggression here. Yeah, Walnuts, you did really good. You played a great game, man. I mean, Daniken would have done the exact same thing to me. Don't feel bad. And I'm a seasoned tournament veteran, and I still would have gotten karate chop. Maybe national, maybe so. All right, so we're just waiting right now. We have a couple games still to finish. We have Abdelzerak, Empire for Hire here in Kinetic. So those guys are playing, and we'll take a look at the undefeated players right now and see who's there. Bestigors might have been okay, maybe. But like if they go with like an Anticity Blimp like SE build, you would probably have a bad time with it. Cathay can be tricky. They could be tricksy hobbitses, man. All right, so who's undefeated? We have Daniken undefeated. So undefeated Grand Cathay versus, what are you playing against? Are you playing Demons of Chaos tonight? Oh man, if you're playing Demons of Chaos, we're gonna cast you versus Daniken next round. Although Potato Devil also going 3 wins here. All right, Charix plays a lot, but a lot of my streams have been at night. So he's in Poland, so he's going to be, you know, a little bit tricky there. Your bones have been crushed by Ogre Bellies. It's not an easy matchup, Pancake, and you probably played Scrambled Egg, right? He's amazing. He's really good. So hold your head up high. Okay, let's refresh this. Yep, 2 games still to go. And as soon as that's done, we're going to get going here. Cast the Demons of Chaos game and watch the degeneracy unfold. I will. Is he using the Speedy Furies? The ones that are like, is that what he's doing with that? I want to see it. So we're gonna try and do it. Max, where are your vampire counts, dog? We need you in here, man. Okay, refreshing. Yes. And now we're just hanging out. The Cathay Redemption arc, maybe so. But can they beat the Demons of Chaos? You have Crowmen. Crowmen are pretty good at fighting demons. With their magic damage and whatnot, they can do some nice work. I would be very interested to see how that goes. I came semi-close to winning versus the Chaos. Ah, General, how are your games going, man? Are you enjoying Total War? A little bit of a dwarvish action? You're playing the fantasy version of Imperial Guard, although that's actually just the Empire. The Empire is the closest thing to the Imperial Guard. You literally have like your guardsmen, your state troopers, and then you have artillery and like you have tanks. Vampire counts are good. They're an A-tier faction, I would say. In the hands of a good player, they're A-tier. I mean, we can go look at the stats right now. We have a lot of data now. Norska looking really good, but this is like a good sign. You see how like this season, guys, there's not a faction that is sitting at like 70%. Granted, yes, there's still some things that are broken, but this is looking very, I mean, look at that, 44% on the bottom end. That's really nice. For a game with 24 factions, this is some great balance right here, guys. This is some great balance. Awesome, right? Yeah, and now we have some dense data. We have 500 games, 500 plus tournament games with Wood Elves in the data pool. So you can actually go look at the matchups and get a lot of feedback and stuff. It's awesome, man. Love to see it. Oh, Skull Taker is really good, Pancake. He's probably the best Khorne character. Okay, Skaven are very close to Imperial Guard also. That's true. I mean, but Skaven and Empire are more similar than they'd like to be. Yeah. This is a good spread of balance, honestly. Yeah. Beastmen perfectly balanced. I know. I'm loving it, man. We've come a long way. And as a community, we've worked together to get the balance where it is, which is great. Let's get the brackets advanced here and see. I know, General, it's pretty crazy. Like, Dawn of War 1 the balance is so awful compared to like this game. Dawn of War 1 has like, what, 8 or 9 factions? And it's like a true RTS. And this is like a campaign-based game that like got made into a multiplayer game a little bit. And it has better balance. All right, we're ready for the next round. Let's advance the Swiss. And there we go. This is round 4, and let's see who's playing. Daniken versus Alexander Nuts could be fun. That's a high-level game. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to do Daniken. I'm on a Cathay lobby code. I want to see what Cathay can do. I want to see what's cooking. One sec here. All right, outstanding. And here we go. Just responding to a couple admin requests. Bond. Let's check here. All right, great. So admin stuff is all taken care of. And let's go find that game. So Danikin's lobby. I don't remember what it was named. It should have a spectator slot here, though. Is it Ratatouille? Must be this one. We'll get Anticity's game soon. Don't you worry. It's gonna happen. There we are, and we need to let them know. Is this round 4? Pretty good progress tonight, guys. Well played, all the players. You guys are doing a great job keeping the rounds going. Round 4. Here we go. And it's been announced. The evil, evil Anticity Demons of Chaos. General says going from Command and Conquer and StarCraft to Dow is like Whiplash, Balance Whiplash. It's a shame because I really do like Dawn of War. Like, I have a lot of fun with it. But the balancing just, like, irks me so much with that game. I was casting the tournament the other day, and it was Space Marines versus Eldar, and I messaged the Space Marine player. I was like, hey, I'm gonna come cast your game. He's like, don't even bother, it's unwinnable. I'm like, and this is like a top tier player, by the way. It's not like some newer player who's saying like, oh, I can't win, you know, but this is someone who's been playing forever. Who's like, I'm like, man, that's like a bummer. Like, there's not, like, the odds are just it's so one-sided, right? Yeah. It's a shame, but, you know, not every game can be balanced. Not every game can be balanced. Still going to cover it. I still enjoy it. Probably going to look for games that are more, you know, even matchups and longer. Obviously, is going to be something like longer matches to give you guys more tech and like cool units and whatnot. I think that's fun. All right, so we got our match here. It's going to be Alexander Big Nuts versus Grand Cathay. Oh, better hide his build here. Oh man, look at that. Yeah, but Anticity, that's Dawn of War 1. We're not talking about Dow 4. Dow 4 will probably be much more balanced than Dow 1, that's for sure. Yeah, General, for sure. So we got Alexander Nuts versus... Oh, so we got Cathay versus Coast. This is going to be fun. Let's see what's cracking, man. So guys, here, I know this might be an unpopular opinion, but I really like Iron Harvest. I have so much fun in the multiplayer matches, the mechs, hearing the native languages spoken, the immersion, the diesel kind of steampunk aesthetic. I really like Iron Harvest multiplayer. I think it's very fun. Granted, I have not gotten into bouncing issues at the higher level. So that's something I haven't experienced, which might change my opinion of the game, but with how much I enjoy Iron Harvest, and look, Iron Harvest has a lot of issues. There's pretty horrific pathing at times. Obviously, there is some units that are just terrible, and there's some units that are extremely strong. So there are issues with the game. You know, some infantry do fall off a bit, right? Understandably, though, it's late game tech. But it does give me some hope for Dow 4 too, because I played the Dow 4 demo. I liked the demo. And these guys definitely put a lot of passion into the Iron Harvest universe. And I'm playing the Iron Harvest campaign. I don't even like campaigns, and I'm playing, or single player, but I'm playing it and having a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm hoping that we can get that same passion put into 40K, into Dawn of War. And I think that if they have a bigger budget and, you know, a bigger team, they're going to be able to do some good work. I'm hoping. I really hope I'm not wrong, but yeah, I'm hopeful, man. I'm hopeful. Yeah, and Iron Harvest was their first outing in RTS, and honestly, it's a pretty great game. Like, I haven't played an RTS game in a long time outside of Total War Warhammer, and obviously older games that I've been like, hell yeah, this is like a new RTS game, and I'm really enjoying it. I get on every night and play a couple Iron Harvest games when if I can find people to play with. It's very fun. We'll see, though. We'll see. You never know. My only gripe with Iron Harvest is that infantry fall off super hard in the mid to late game. It's interesting, General, because they do fall off in straight up combat, but you have to remember in Iron Harvest, infantry, their role changes a bit in the later game. They become more of a support / map control piece because they play the objectives They man heavy equipment. They repair mechs. So I think the thing about infantry being trash isn't necessarily accurate, because I've actually won games before where I have a lesser mech army than my opponent, but I killed most of their infantry, and I just get the entire map because they don't have the things to contest the flanks. Well, Anticity, before you get into Iron Harvest, let me tell you this. The game has a very low population. It's 5 years old. It's really almost impossible to get quick battle games sometimes. Like, it's hit and miss. So yeah, and it's like, if you're looking at it from like doing it for your YouTube channel, just remember it's not going to be like some big hit, because it's not something people are searching nowadays so much. So just giving you a fair shake. I enjoy it a lot. I love the aesthetic, right? You know, I love the history of Central Europe and you know, that whole kind of era. My wife is Polish too, so hearing the Polish native language being spoken by Polania is really fun, especially when she's in the room. She'll be like, oh yeah, she'll translate some of the stuff they're saying. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Gates to Hell Ostfront. Yeah, no, I'm gonna look into that, Legion. No, it's an older game, Eds. It came out 5 years ago. Yeah, Schmaui mechs are the best. They're the coolest. The Polish mechs with the bayonets. It's amazing. All right, so we have Grand Cathay versus Coast, and I'm not the host. Yeah, they're not waiting on me, so we're just doing the build right here. Yeah, we're doing it. Meant to ask that a while ago. What were you trying to ask? Why not ban Eldar out of the tournaments? I don't know. I don't like just in a game with only that many factions, because there are a lot of people who main Eldar, and that's kind of their faction. So I don't know. What I'm going to do probably for future Dawn of War tournaments, Dawn of War 1, if we do have them, more of them, will probably be pick and bans. So players will be allowed to, like, there will be a pick and ban process. So every matchup, somebody's going to be able to ban something. And hey, if they ban Eldar, they have to play something else. Yeah. Oh, Shake Vivid, how do you know that? I haven't heard anything. Did they post like a blog post or something? Do you like modern age RTS games? I've been having a lot of fun with Broken Arrow. I haven't played that one, but yeah, I love modern RTS. I mean, this is a modern RTS, Company of Heroes 3, Iron Harvest. Those are games I've been enjoying a lot. I haven't tried Warno or Broken Arrow. Okay, I had a question for you guys. How interested would you guys be in watching, it's a series of games, I think it's called Anno. And they're making one that's based in ancient Rome, if I'm not mistaken. It's like you play as like a Roman governor, and it does have an RTS element. You like micro armies, I think, and it does have some light PvP online as well. Because the Roman one is coming out soonish, and I saw a trailer for it, and I was like, it's like city building with militaries. It's super fantastic to watch. Okay, so maybe when the Roman one comes out, we'll hit that one pretty hard, because it looks cool. And the Manor Lords. It looks like Manor Lords, but more fleshed out and with a Roman setting as well. So maybe we will try that. Anno series is goated. Okay, got it. So we will go dive into that then. Okay. Well, it has city building and military stuff too. Yeah. Longtime Anno player, love that franchise. All right, we'll do it. Call it a date. Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, welcome to this round 4 duel. These are 2 undefeated players, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe one of them has 1 loss. I'm not sure. And it is going to be Cathay versus Vampire Coast. Now, for Grand Cathay, very classic Jade Warrior frontline, backed up by peasants with some bow support. So we have the triple bow in the middle. Interesting formation. Instead of having the bows more spread out, he keeps them very consolidated here. So 4 bowmen, spears, Jade Warriors, and a dragon-blooded Lord of Yang as well. It's pretty fun, and it is going to be the Dragon's Breath. Looking at the armies of Alexander Big Nuts here, he is going to be bringing a front line of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, backed up by bomber mobs, which are really good at clearing out infantry. Halberds, Morngulls are pretty good at tearing up armored infantry, and sneaky as well. And Celastra basically hard counters artillery as well as range units. So essentially, what's going to be happening is we're going to be getting Celastra in here. She's going to be dropping her damn Knights Errant in the backfield and trying to kill these. Oh, it's double fire rain rocket. Oh shit, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I didn't notice that. So the fire rain rockets are shooting into the bomber mobs. All right, guys, this is what you're here for. Screw everything else. Let's give you the cinematic shots. We'll talk about tactics later. Oh, yes. Advanced rocket weaponry being used against marching pirate zombies, only in Warhammer Fantasy. Oh, yes, glorious. So zombies getting nuked out of the gates. But Celostra is getting closer, and for whom the bell tolls indeed, it is going to be on its way in as the Fire Rain rockets continue dropping their steaming hot payloads on the face of all these zombies over here. So there they go. And a breath attack coming in from Daniken, going to be going right down the pipe of those zombie pirate deckhand mobs right there. And Grand Cathay is going to be rotating its army northward on the map to secure Objective 3, while the Fire Rain rockets have almost killed the zombie mobs. But this is where Celostra gets really, really problematic, because she's going to be summoning her damn Knights Errant here. But Daniken is leaving the peasants to screen this out. So when the Cav gets summoned, Celostra dropping a Tide Call and doing a lot of damage to that spear unit. And we're going to be seeing the cavalry summon here in a moment. But the archers, are they going to turn about face and start shooting Celostra? Here comes the Cav summon, or is it a crab summon? It's a crab summon. All right, so crabs have been summoned, and now Celostra is going to move even further. Oh, that was so good by Alexander. So he baits the Cav forward, and now he's going to summon his knights here and just run this shit over. Oh, man, if he's paying attention, that would be a game-winning play. Morgul's coming in. Zombies getting melted pretty bad. Deckhand mobs here, handguns melted. I mean, absolute punishment there. Alexander pulling ahead, but this is where it gets really bad for the forces of Grand Cathay, as the Knights of an era long past have been summoned, and the damn Knights aren't going to be surging in and running down the cannon crew. So the artillery crew is going to be chased off, getting routed right there. Big old charge right there. And a couple of Jade Lancer cavalry going to be coming out to intercept them, but that's exactly what we were talking about. Beautiful bait and switch there by Alexander. Also using the Tide Call. Celostra in the backfield, there's not really much to deal with her as Alexander comes around the flank with his two doggies. Who let the dogs out? Who let Alexander out of the cage, man? All right, Scurvy Dog's going to get there and get that artillery piece. Cathay is just folding right now. They're not able to protect all their flanks. Granted, they did do a shitload of damage, so maybe they'll be able to swing something, but I don't know, man. Dogs are all up in their backfield. The Cav are moving in there as well. Morgul's chasing off units there, and Cathay's front line is doing well, mind you, but there are Morguls in the mix. And it looks like he's going to have to maybe go back to the drawing board on that build. I think using the Fire Rain rockets but no archers, like, it might be a little bit too much to protect. Celostra is one of the best bunker buster characters in the entire game, and just getting into your backfield and summoning shit and causing a lot of damage, but we do see both Fire Rain rockets getting routed. One of them's broken, one of them is actually shattered. In the meantime, Jade Lancers do finish off these Scurvy Dogs, or at least get them very close to death. Cathay fighting on a couple of fronts as well, but the Morguls are overwhelming their lines. The wacky inflatable arm guys are getting in there and using their atomic pimp slaps on the old peasant horsemen here, so those guys are down. Jade Lancers are broken, and not good, right? Vampire Coast has all three objectives, and Grand Cathay has, I think they just got, their build got run over a little bit. They did. So you can see Cathay dismantled the Beastmen last game, but this game, they were the ones on the receiving end of the business giving. We'll see if they can find their way back in the game. The value difference isn't out of control yet, but Cathay is not happy about this. Losing 2 expensive artillery pieces, 4 archer units, and also this build has 0 answer for Celostra. There's no big armor piercing to deal with her. I suspect that we are going to be seeing Daniken probably change their build if they play again in the semifinals or the grand finals, because he just didn't have an answer to deal with Celostra. No Celestial General, no Celestial Lions, no Terracottas or anything that could really go fisticuffs with that character right there. All right, guys. So let's look here. We do see the zombies on the side point holding that. Depth guard coming in to hold that. Zombies parked on the high ground point as well. Grand Cathay desperately fighting, trying to get out of its own backfield right here. The Crowmen helping to wear down the Morguls, so some Jade Warriors and Jade Lancers are getting them down, but not before they freaking take out a Crowman too, which is so freaking good. And Celostra's just full health, just chortling and cackling and singing her opera songs, and Cathay has been overwhelmed. The undead have raided. They have come from the 7 seas, and they have taken the trinkets, the lizard trinkets, as they say, or Cathay trinkets. Be a little bit more apt, I do dare say. All right, so GG, well played. I don't see any chance for Daniken. Pretty much very one-sided. It was a very cool beginning. We got to see Fire Rain rockets, so we got to live our power fantasy. I mean, the Pirates had Daka Sharpclaw. They had bombers, they had handgunners, but they all got killed by the artillery on the way in. Sugar Shanesta, thank you for resubscribing. SFTs are makes life good. Yeah, they're very fun. It's a great format. It's a classic. All right, Peasant Archers shooting away over here, and Doggies are on the way in. They're going to be moving on forward there. So there they go, moving and a grooving. But I think it's probably going to be game blouses. I would expect Daniken to maybe tap out here in a moment. Finally, Daniken gets an answer to Celostra, but probably a little bit too late. It is going to be the Graces of Kuai Yin. So these things do have huge armor piercing values. But yeah, even still. probably going to be something to shut them down, like some scurvy dogs. The battlefield control is just too good for the forces of the undead. Doggos chasing here. Another burning dragon breath. Maybe going to get some of those zombies to be worn down. 600 points at the moment. You got to give it up for Daniken, though. Daniken is doing an excellent job of keeping the value close despite being in a very, very rough situation. Undead crumbling here. Scurvy Dog's going to be taken offline, and the Graces of Kuai Yin will continue advancing. Cathay is probably one of the worst factions at the game at retaking objectives once you're kind of in a contested battlefield. They don't really have an infantry unit that can get up and bully things. They have to be very methodical about it and get their shooting online and do their thing. So look, if anybody can claw their way back, it would be Daniken. Alexander would have to throw pretty hard for that to happen, in my opinion. All right, another breath attack. I mean, Grand Cathay getting a little bit of momentum. Nice Scurvy Dog play, though. Scurvy Dogs come around, flank into the back of the Iron Hill Gunners here. And there's not really anything to protect them. There's no Jade Lancers. I would expect them to call something out to peel those Scurvy Dogs off. These Iron Hill Gunners are very, very needed. Up on the high ground, a couple archers moving, as well as some spears, and it is going to be some Jade Lancers going to clear out those zombies. And Celestra is getting forced back. Her health is getting lower. Morgul's do try and get in, and they try to dive, but the Graces of Kuai Yin need to attack these Morgul's right now, and it looks like they are. Maybe a line of sight issue, I'm not sure. If you move them into melee, that's going to be a pretty big mistake. What you do is you just give them a stop order and just let them shoot whatever's in front of them, and that's how you do that. So they're going to be trying to fire. We do see the Morgul's getting worn down. Grand Cathay contesting one objective here, maybe. Morgul's coming in. A couple archers are on the way. Depth Guard cleaning up on the flank as well. So the Depth Guard chewing through these bad boys. Up here, Jade Warriors fighting in the woods. And the Iron Hill Gunners getting taken down by the Scurvy Dogs is very, very rough. They would have been a good pushing piece for sure against like Depth Guard and some of the other tools. Graces of Kuai Yin get a little bit awkward, but the Crowmen in tandem with the Jade Lancers able to 2v1 the Morgul. So very, very nice combo right there. While the Graces are going to be setting up shop, Celestra are going to be summoning more units from the deep. So here comes the old rotting Prometheans. All hail the mighty. So the crabs are there, and they are rotting and undead. And that should be able to stuff back several of these units. You could honestly just send them into the Jade Lancers and waste some of the ammo of the Graces, potentially. All right, 1,000 points here. You know, Daniken is creeping back on value, guys, but it's going to be tough. Nangao Grenadiers coming out in the woods. We do have some Jade Warriors moving, Peasant Spearmen pushing as well. Do we have a potential comeback on our hands? I don't think so, but anything is possible. Crowmen going to be pulling over, and Astromancer of Grand Cathay has somehow survived. It's just the augmenting one, though. It's not the one that actually has any spells, so it doesn't really matter. And Celestra going to be eating some firepower again, eating quite a few arrows, and dropping about 300-400 HP to that volley. But then Celestra, feeling the pressure, is going to be ordering her dreaded crabs to dive into the secondary and attack the Graces of Kuai Yin, so those guys are going to be getting it right there. Trying their best, but shooting from downtown into Celestra. Meanwhile, on objective number 2, Cathay does have a couple characters fighting, couple spearmen moving. 1,200 points are approaching, and Grand Cathay is going to be getting the high ground, it looks like. So here we do see Grand Cathay with a couple units. They need to get on the objective to make sure their capture weight sticks. Scurvy Dogs running interference. Alexander Nuts dropping the big Nuts micro here as he does take down another Iron Hail Gunner. That's 500 gold in the trash can. And now these Nangao Grenadiers are going to be feasted on by the Hounds as well, which is super, super cost-effective, by the way. All right, Jade Lancers are hustling up towards Objective 3, and we do see a couple, the Graces of Kuai Yin moving up, going to be trying to put some firepower down into Celestra where they can. Back in the middle, Grand Cathay, man, Daniken, despite having an absolutely horrific early game, has still found a way to contest some objectives and push, which is very, very impressive, mind you. Here, the cavalry going to be taking down the Deckhand mob, while a couple of Furies looking for a home, not Furies, excuse me, Crowmen, still flying. And is Daniken contesting a couple objectives? I don't know, man. I don't know. This one is looking a little bit suspicious, as the outside objective is being contested by Daniken as well. Scurvy Dog's going to be attacking the crossbows, but the Graces of Kuai Yin, if they turn and fight, should be able to beat these Scurvy Dogs. They're 95 armor and pretty good combat stats. They're basically an infantry unit, so they should beat those Scurvy Dogs and get back online there. Celestra going to be getting into the middle as Alexander does approach 1,400 points. Talk about an almost comeback, right? Like, almost. There were glimmers of it. Like, every objective is being contested, but I think Alexander still has this one on lock here. As on the backside, we do see some more units being called out, some bows and some grenadiers, but not going to be enough. And this is going to seal the deal for sure. I mean, obviously the points do, but we do see the Dragon-Blooded Lord getting surrounded and actually taken down by Celestra and the Depth Guard there. So that is going to be all she wrote right there. So GG. Well played. Well to the played. All right, let me check this. Yeah, I can see what you guys are saying about YouTube looking a little bit pixelated. I just checked it out myself. All right, I'm going to do some serious research before the next stream and see if we can fix that, because it should be way better quality. All right, guys. GG. Well played. That was a fun one. And victory for the Vampire Coast. All right, all right. General in chat saying I was violated by a lizard air force. Yep, they can do it. They can do it to you. Celestra got 1,500 value, but really the Scurvy Dogs and the Summons are what won that game. Getting into that backfield, just crumping that entire gun line, it doesn't get much better than that. That is the power fantasy right there. It's very, very nice stuff. All right, GG, well played. So let's see what's going on here and see what is going on. Checking, refreshing. A couple games are wrapping up. Anticity defeated Potato. Danikin drops the game to Alexander Nuts. Scrambled Egg able to win his game as well. Likely going to have a top 4 with Scrambled, Anticity, Danikin, and Nuts. We will see who else is going to be able to make it. Danikin almost came back, but despite losing a game, it does not mean you're out of the event. You still have a chance. It is a Swiss format, so basically you just need to win 4 games. And, well, maybe 5 games. Is it a 5-rounder? Yeah, 4 games gives you a good chance. So Danikin, if Danikin loses their next game, then they'll probably be eliminated. But we will see. Scurvy Dogs are really good. Yeah, like compared to Chaos Warhounds, are way better because they're stickier. Warhounds break and run instantly, but you know the doggies of the undead are much stickier. Okay. So Anticity with the win there is going to go up to 4 wins. Alexander Nuts up to 3 wins. So I think the only undefeated player is Anticity here. Scrambled Egg Special on his Ogres also at 3 wins. So we have a lot of players at 3 wins here. All right. It's probably just all the people that Anticity has beaten, yes. So now we got to wait for these couple games to finish, and we should be golden. Should be golden. Coast got a faction-wide leadership nerf years ago. Now they crumble too quickly. They're still very good, though. Coast is a solid faction. I mean, we have the data. Vampire Coast has a 53% win rate in tournaments right now, if you see this. Their bad matchups are Kislev, apparently, and High Elves. Interesting. Yeah, a couple other struggle matches. Nothing's really that bad for them, though. Like, look at this. Like, Dark Elves is fine. Whatever. Like, these are all matchups that don't look that bad for them. Even Norska is fine. There's not that many games played. Vampire Counts can bully them pretty good, though, right? Can they? I always felt like, let me think. Vampire Counts beat the Coast, right? Usually, with the double Scab Scrape and the pushing. Yeah. Yeah, Slaughter's really tanky. What's the golden ratio for win to loss? I mean, obviously you want everything to be around 50%. That's ideal, but we have pretty good balance in this game, all things considered. We do indeed. All right, so Danikin will for sure bring a different build next time if they play again. I think that was a good lesson. It was a build that was not well suited to deal with that coastline build. That is for sure. Yeah, you could bring an Invocaster in reserve if you want to. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Wouldn't be terrible. Okay, let's check this. How are we looking? Okay, refreshing, and we still have 2 games wrapping up right now. 56 to 44% is an insanely narrow win range for 24 faction game. It is. Yeah, it's pretty solid. It wasn't always so. There was a time when we had the dreaded Slanesh at like 80% or something. That was so stupid. Oh my god. The early days of Hellstriders, because that was just the meta. It was just like Hellstriders and Marauder Horsemen. That was probably the most awful meta we've ever had in this game. I think that was back when Houseplant was dominating a lot. He was winning quite a few of the big events. Hopefully he comes back and plays a more balanced experience for him. Yeah. Okay, let's refresh this. Oh god, the Bellacore meta was trash. That was so terrible. I hated it so much. You would get somebody rolling up with a normal army that wasn't Bellacore Mass Horsemen, and you'd be like, oh my god, look, it's an actual normal build. It's like a rare sighting, dude. It was like seeing a unicorn. It was a long meta, too. It was. Those were the dark days, man. The darkest of days were when Warhammer 3 launched. Warhammer 3 launch was really rough. We had like a handful of factions that were super limited. It was terrible. It was really terrible. Okay, so Walnuts are Tree Nuts versus Empire for Hire, and Death Pancake versus Sunshine are battling it out right now. Pancake, aren't you in chat right now? I saw you in here. If you are, you can go ahead and report your score. Lothar and Seaguard still see play. They're not like the most common, but there are some matchups Lothar and Seaguard are pretty good in, I would say. They get a little bit of action. The launch demon factions with no marauders. It was rough. It was rough. Those were bleak times. But we have come together and we have persevered through the haggardness. Yeah. And we have gotten there. Warhammer 3 was almost unplayable at launch. It was so bad. Oh god, it was so bad. Those were dark times. But, you know, all good. At least we got domination mode, you know. I think I would have gone mad if I had to keep covering land battle. I would have. I would have settled for either domination or conquest mode. They're both viable game modes, but traditional land battle is, oh god, if I had to do that more, I couldn't do it. Just you guys know the so you know that episode from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Dennis system, where he's like talking about the implication of it. It wasn't necessarily that the rule breaks happened all the time, but the implication of the rule breaks stressed me out. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And you know, when you had the what's it called? When you had big money events in land battle, which I hosted a ton of them, the World Championship, the ECL finals, the Everchosens, and a lot of money was involved. There was definitely some drama with rule breaks, and it was not fun at all because people will min-max. And like having to have rules about when you can attack another player, that would be like an Iron Harvest or like StarCraft. Be like, well, your drop ship isn't allowed to go to the edge of the map, or your Marines can't. You can only bring 5 Marines. You can't bring 6. Uh-oh, you have too many Banelings. Imagine that in any other real RTS game. How stupid that is. You know, to have player-made rules to make it playable. It's just like, I mean, look, if you have no other option and the game is really fun, but that's the glue you need to make it work, like we did for years here, I understand. But like, oh, I just couldn't deal with it anymore, dude. I couldn't. Anticity says, yeah, Full Sweat Dom is a much more fun mode to watch and play. I agree, because you can do anything you want. The only restrictions we have are like things that are legitimately like bugged or broken, which, you know, is what it is. Yes. So these players are in danger? No, but it's the implication, yeah. Yeah. Oh, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like just the goat of comedy shows. I'm trying to think, like, of modern comedy TV, I think It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia just has got it on lock. It's so funny. The entire arc with Rickety Cricket, oh, it was so amazing. You guys remember that? The Rickety Cricket arc? I just love how like the main characters, like they drag him out of the priesthood, they manipulate him, and they like just lead him to like the most haggard like downfall ever, where he oh, Rickety Cricket is my his character. That actor is so funny at playing that character. It is amazing. People don't get cheesed about cycle charge now. I know. Remember that? You couldn't even cycle charge SEs. You legit had to leave your thing to fight in melee. Yeah. The last few seasons of It's Always Sunny have been pretty garbage. I haven't watched them. I only watched like most of the OG ones, but yeah. Yeah, so for all of you guys who are new, let me show you something funny. So we're going to get, yeah, you and you. And then we're going to get like you and like this guy, whatever, right? Okay. Sunny has been on for like 17 years. It's insane. You're about to start watching it? Seen too many. Oh, you got to watch It's Always Sunny. It's amazing. Yeah, look, I still think land battle at times has better spectacle. Like it looks like two armies like meeting in the field and fighting, but you know, they both have their pros and cons. Land battle is fun if you're playing with the homies. So there was a time in Total War where this was illegal. Like if you were playing in a Warhammer 2 tournament and like there was nothing left on the field except the characters, you weren't allowed to do this. You weren't allowed to cycle charge. So you couldn't reset your charge bonus. You couldn't run away. If we were in a Total War Warhammer 2 tournament and these were the last 2 units on the battlefield and there was no other things like attacking, basically you would have to just hands off the keyboard and you just have to let the RNG take over. You couldn't cycle charge. You would just have to fight. Conquest thankfully has fixed that too, and Conquest is a much better game mode. I think that's what Dob Plays covers now, which is great. Yeah, so there's like this would be an illegal play essentially, and you would have to give that player a game loss. Backstabber says, Turin, I found a randomly clip I apparently made you of showing new Vampire Coast units. Oh, wait. I found a random clip I apparently made of you showing off the new Vampire Coast units in the Bloated Bomber unit. Oh, man, a long time ago, huh? You can send it my way. Ancient history. All right. So, let's see here. 7 years old. Yeah, I remember the Vampire Coast Everchosen was one of my favorite Warhammer experiences ever. That was really fun. The one that Aerocrastic won, that was probably one of my favorite tournaments of all time from Warhammer 2. It was so good. We had some, yeah, it was lame, but it was necessary, correct. Yeah, the cycle charging thing was pretty funky. The Warhammer 2 Everchosen, I think, was like a peak Warhammer 2 tournament. If you guys want to go check that out, it was the really fun. We had so many upsets and like great players playing. We had Aerocrastic, Tlaxlan, Soothsayer. Let me actually check that real quick. So, Total War, Vampire Coast, Everchosen. Is this it? Let's see. Everchosen. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Okay, one sec, guys. Everchosen Invitational. I wouldn't post links. I don't know how to give permissions and whatnot. Invitational. Just direct it. You could DM it to me in Discord, man. Vampire Coast. I think the round should be almost done, by the way. Here we go. Yeah, so this was a very fun event. This one here. It was okay, we got the sound muted and everything. Yeah, let me find this and go here. Yeah, so this was the Vampire Coast Everchosen. So this was pre-Rona. There's Janet on Occasion, Dogbert, and Wheels. Yeah, this was a great event. So yeah, we had, oh yeah, that's right, Indie Pride played in this one. Yeah, that's cool. We had old Indie Pride playing here. That's really fun. So we had Indie Pride, Pippington, really strong player. Gabo King, who of course won the first Everchosen, great player. Aerocrastic, Lore Master of Sotek. So we had some like more casual players in this event as well. Like content creators and things like that. So it wasn't like the sweatiest event, but it was so fun. Romulan Dog, amazing player. Shetland Apache, OG, truly a hero in the community, and Soothsayer. So really good matches before your time, right? This is a fun one though. So this was yeah, this is Lore Master of Sotek battling Soothsayer here. Pretty fun battle. This was one of my favorite experiences though, for sure. And I was casting this one with Italian Baldicus. You can see us here. Yeah, that was us too. There's Sparty. Here's myself. It was very fun. Great times though. Great times. Let's refresh this. I would love to do another in-person event like that. That was it had like a certain energy to it, which I thought was very fun. 3,000 years ago. I know, that's so old. So old, man. Okay, we're waiting on Pancake and Sunshine to finish their game. Thank you. Yeah, well, Creative Assembly was going to do more in-person events. Dogbert was the guy who spearheaded it. He's an absolute Chad. He's one of my good friends in real life too. So CA Dogbert, he doesn't work there anymore. But what happened was coronavirus came, and then they basically just stopped doing in-person events, and then they lost some momentum for it. And then Dogbert, he left Creative Assembly. So he was the one who pushed for the in-person events because he had an esports background. He was a professional Battlefield player for Dignitas, and then he went to go work at Creative Assembly as their content manager person. How do you deal with Changebringers? With which faction, Walnuts? Yeah, Falcon was a goat for sure. He was great. He's a really good person as well. That's the thing. Falcon was like one of those like avatars of a sport who's like not only the best but also a really nice person. Which was cool to see. Truly a Chad. But guys, we're just getting started. I might be getting closer to 40, a little bit long of tooth, but there's going to be some bomb games coming in the next few years. We're going to get the old Dawn of War 4 and whatever the hell LCA is working on, and we're going to go hard in the paint on those. We're going to have big tournaments, big leagues. This game might feel a little bit older, but there's a bright future coming. There is a bright future coming. Okay, let me see what's going on with these two players. We got a match that's going really long. Sunshine. Sunshine, is this it? Is it you? No. Okay, and then who is the player playing there? It is going to be Death Pancake. Okay. Pancake. Yo-yo, you two done? Okay, great, so they just finished. All right, so we're going to be getting to the next round right now. And we should be all set. I was very sad when I heard they gave up on the World War I Total War game. I didn't even know that was the thing that was being worked on. I have no idea. I turned 30 14 days ago. Yes, join me. Join me, and together we will conquer the galaxy. Yeah, honestly, 30s isn't so bad, man. Like, I'm 37, and I feel pretty damn good. Wait, I'm 37, right? I fucking don't know how old I am, dude. That is a funny thing. Like, when you get to this age, you're like, am I 36 or 37? I don't remember. Yeah, it's a good age. I feel good. I feel healthy, you know? A lot of it is just your fitness and how you eat, you know? It gets more important as you get to this age. Like, the last couple months, I've just been a fat turd, basically. I took up bread making, and I gained like 10 pounds. It was horrible. My mom got me a bread maker for my birthday, and I just started making huge loaves of sourdough and French bread, and I just gained like 10 pounds. So now I'm hitting the gym again, and I'm starting to feel good again. But it'll get you, dude. You got to be careful, man. Bread makers are a dangerous hobby. Hey, well, happy birthday to all of you guys who just had birthdays, looks like. You've been 29 for the last 9 years. There you go. All right, last round of regulation. We're going to go cast an Anticity game now. All right, let's do this. Okay, round 5. Look, have fun. All right, Salty Scarab, I will drop you out. Scarab. Let me take the Salty Scarab. Need to figure out what their name is on the website, and we should be good. Empires are built on bread for a reason. The calories in bread is higher than in most meats. Yeah, you get a lot out of it. And it tastes super good, too. There's something, there's two things, there's two smells to me that are very, very powerful. It's the smell of fresh bread in a house and the smell of like freshly brewed coffee. If you can like add those two variables to your life, you're going to be so much happier in general. It's nuts. Like fresh bread and fresh coffee. Even if you don't drink the coffee, I'm telling you, just having it on in the morning, have like a tiny sip, is just like, it's a game changer. The smell of those things, yeah. That's what I want my home to smell like most of the time. Fresh bread is insane. When you get fresh bread and the whole like house and living room smells like that, you're just like, oh God, it's so good. All right, so the next round is up. Salty Scarab is here. Let's see what your actual name was. Okay, so we have that. And then on round 1, I think it's going to be... I think it's Chris. It's not going to be... So Chris L. Okay. We will see how this goes. So we are in the lobby. We're going to be getting started on the game real quick here. Okay. And that's going to be Empire for Hire. Let me see how that goes. Sorry, guys. Got a little bit of adminning to do here. Hire versus... who do they play? Okay, perfect. By the way, if you're still here, Salty Scarab, if you could let me know your name on the website so I can admin that for you, that'd be great. All right. Freshly baked, banana bread is bomb. It's really, really good. Legion says, you're 43, been RTS gaming for about 32 of those years. Yeah, Orcs and Humans was good. I didn't play much of it. My first one that I really dove into was Orcs, Tides of Darkness, Warcraft 2. That and the original StarCraft. Those were the masterpieces there. Those were some good ones. Demons of Chaos for Anticity, a super forbidden build, and we don't know what Mr. Razak is going to be doing here. We have no idea. All right, and let's do this. A little bit of that. Perfect. Corporate slave drowning in convenience store coffee. You know, some of the best coffees I've ever had in my life are when you're on a long road trip. You got like an 8-hour drive ahead of you, and you just get that dirty gas station coffee when you're tired. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like when you're on like a, you know, one of those like classic American gas stations and you get just whatever coffee they have in there. Those are some of the best coffees you'll ever have because they're lifting you up from perdition. You know, you're like you're drowning, you're sinking down into the depths of hell through Dante's Inferno, right? And then you get that angelic gas station coffee that just keeps you going on the road trip. You know, those are some of the best coffees, in my opinion. All right, let's refresh this. Okay, where are we at? Okay, and he's going to be Chris, so we need to do this. Okay, so we're going to drop you out. All right, no problem. So all set. So adminning's taken care of. Thoughts on a more weapons team heavy Skaven build? It's good in some matchups. But any of these, there's so many factions that are good at overwhelming the Skaven because your infantry are so weak. And there's so many flying diving units that can compromise weapons teams. It's tricky to bring. My favorite is the cheap coffee. Oh, I love American diners. Oh, I love diners. That's my favorite thing. Sitting at like old person diners and just like in the morning and having a coffee and some bacon and eggs. You know, you got some nice like grandma as your waitress who's just like, it's all friendly. That lifts the spirits too. Your dog got in the garbage, General? Oh, no. Wait, so, General, you want me to drop you from the tournament or you can't play this match? Oh, you dropped out. Okay, no worries. No worries. All right. So we're just waiting. Anticity apparently has a super evil build. He's been scheming, man. He always comes up with the most evil villainous builds, which is fun. And we're going to see what he's cooking with here. Oh, man. What's the really good coffee on the... Okay, I have a question. So, obviously, West Coast. I don't know if we have any East Coasters hanging out here right now. But West Coast, you know, most people just will have Starbucks or mom and pop coffee, right? But on the East Coast, I know my dad and my uncle, my dad lived in New York. My uncle was in Boston and Massachusetts and a couple other areas out there. They did enjoy the Dunkin' Donuts, which the Dunkin' coffee. Is it actually good? Because I know it's quite huge out there. I've never had it myself, despite being in New York quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know if we have any East Coasters lurking. You get Dunkin' Donuts every day. Nice. All right. So there's some power to it. I've seen the commercials, the ones that like Ben Affleck does, and what's his name? Matt Damon, I think, has done some too. All right. Your brother and sister-in-law live by Dunkin' Coffee. Okay, so it's like legit. It's like a competitor to Starbucks, huh? Damn, that's hardcore. Emultra, that's hardcore. It's the most inconsistent coffee ever. Wanker doesn't like it either in chat. Okay. All right, then. I'm getting some mixed opinions on it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 5 of the tournament. After this round, we have our semifinals and grand finals. And here we have Anticity. So this is his Speed Freaks build, I guess. 110 movement speed, 95 movement speed on these units. We have a Herald of Corn, who's going to be rocking the Locust of Wrath for Alpha Strikes, as well as the Revel and Slaughter, which is really good. If you pop that with like a couple fiends, bump their stats up, you're going to mess some shit up. And then we do also have a Slanesh caster who's going to be using what? The Locus of Swiftness. Oh, man. Is he going to be just getting a million movement speed on these units and flying around the battlefield right now? Dude, is this what's going down with Pavane of Slanesh? I feel like this build is going to be so incredibly degenerate. All right, so now we're going to zip across the battlefield, guys, and we're going to take a look at the forces of the Dark Elves. We're going to go uber wide. So the Dark Elves have a lot of units. It's going to be Bleak Swords and Dread Spears in the back. And that is more or less it with a Supreme Sorceress of the Dark Magic here. So there you go, and it's going to be Chill Wind and Blade Wind. Scourge Runner Chariots for a little bit of poke as well. And I feel like this is going to be wild. This is going to be pretty crunk. Moving out of the bushes. Anticity Speed Freaks build is here. And they're painted pink, not painted red. So not going to be as fast as the orcs, perhaps. But so they move. Yeah, I guess Chaos builds would be the most degenerate, especially Slaanesh-centric builds. So everything is Slaanesh-y except the Lord. The Lord is a Khorne Lord, so the Khorne Lord is going to be augmenting the aura there. And yeah, Ent is definitely the king of the degenerate builds. He is. He brings out some evil shit, which it's fun to see, though. You know, it's really fun to see what he comes up with, you know? Because he's got the micro to make it work. You know, a lot of people would struggle with this kind of play. You need the micro, and you need advanced decision-making as well. All right. So he's going to be moving across, and the Herald of Slaanesh, it's an Aluris. He's now going to be zipping over towards Objective 2, and I wonder if he's just going to move his big Doom Blob and just like pick off one unit at a time until the Dark Elves can't fight back. Ah, Trizik, you're the one who told him. That's really fun. That's fun. Evil stuff. Aluris is creeping, and moving up are the Blackheart Corsairs. And on the backside, guys, it is going to be a couple of Furies coming in, Chaos Furies of Khorne. And this objective should be going to him. And, I mean, like, here's the thing, guys. Rizak should not be playing wide. This unit is going to die. These guys are probably going to die as well. This unit's going to get killed by 2 Furies. He's gonna sandwich this thing. You got to play tighter against a build like this, because now Ent is just going to go balls deep, dude. Oh, man. And he uses the Locust, 120 speed. He comes in. That one unit's going to get cooked. And the Furies are now going to descend on the Spheres to break their formation. And, yeah, it's just 2 dead units right there. Chillwind comes down. But the Dark Elf's going to lose a spear unit and going to lose a sword unit. You really, really cannot spread out against a build like this. You got to keep your formation in a box and make Anticity come into your play your game. So that Dread Spear is dead, and that Leak Sword is also dead as well. But the Scourge Runner Chariot returning the favor a little bit. Demons of Chaos didn't take much damage at all, and it does look like there's going to be, oh my god, Pavane of Slaanesh on the Supreme Sorceress? Oh, it's Rampage for 12 seconds. Anticity's waiting for it. She's on her way out. She's coming to her boyfriend. Rampage for another 5 seconds. Oh, that Anticity might be able to get the kill here. We see the Fiends coming in. The Herald of Khorne is in, but there are Elite Halberds nearby and Tormentor Sword activated from the Herald. And the Blackguard are nearby. We do see the Supreme Sorceress getting attacked. Anticity actually has a Herald of Khorne on a Bulldog as well. And the Supreme Sorceress is getting absolutely karate chopped. In the meantime, Anticity going to be attacking the Scourge Runner Chariots with his Furies. And it does look like the Supreme Sorceress is barely going to be escaping out of the back. We'll have to see. The rest of the Dark Elf build is standing idle. A big mistake. They should send 3 or 4 units over here at this point, and just to at least get the objectives, probably. But Anticity up in the sky. It is going to be Harpies versus Furies. Furies dominate Harpies, and the Crows of Cain get eviscerated. You can see they're going to be getting dropped like flies here. And a big surround is coming in. So the Elite Halberds, though, are doing pretty good for the Druchii. Mr. Rizak here having a good enough time with the Blackguard. However, the Bulldog character and the Fiends are doing some respectable DPS. The 2 Elite Halberd units definitely going to be the breadwinners, and it looks like a Blade Wind being used in the back to try and get some of the units there, as the Dark Elves do sally forth some reinforcements. And now the Seekers of Slaanesh are going to be piling in as well. Scourge Runner Chariots taken offline by the Armor-Piercing Furies and the Fiends of Slaanesh. And the Dark Elf army is looking to be pretty alpha-struck here. He does move up, which is good, because at least he's going to get something out of this situation. He'll get a double cap on Ent, which is going to be a bit of an advantage. Supreme Sorceress is broken and stirred, and most likely is going to be chased off the battlefield by the Furies. Now, the Demons are retreating a little bit. You can see the Fiends retreating there, Furies retreating here. Overall, they are running there. And I think Ent is going to be able to use his Furies to chase down the Supreme Sorceress right there, so the Sorceress is going to be paying the Troll Toll. Gone in the wind. Objective number 3, owned by Dark Elves. Objective 2, owned by Dark Elves. So Mr. Rizak, despite some rough trades, is able to get the objectives and get some points on the board here. The Elite Phoenix Guard and the Blackguard are actually a bit of a problem for Ent. He doesn't have amazing answers for them. He's going to be charging in with a lot of units, but the Blackguard are standing firm despite the Tormentor Sword and the Soporific Musk. They are holding resilient, although now wavering, just due to the sheer numbers of demonic units on them. And Fiends do have good damage. The Herald of Khorne has great damage. Locust of Wrath, 82 melee attack on the Seekers. And absolutely brutal stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely brutal stuff. They might just get melted, even though they are a pretty good unit against these guys. See the value on them? About 700 value, not bad. All right, the rest of the Slaanesh/Demon army going to be coming in the back here. rear charging down the hill, and that is probably going to break the will of these Dark Elf fighters. The Furies of Slaanesh are the best answer they have against the Blackguard, probably. But the Dork Elves do manage to get this objective and are getting 2 victory tickets per second. If they had done that a little bit earlier, could perhaps have a bit of a points lead here. Ent is up in value, 7.3 against 4.1. Razak is putting up an okay fight considering, but now that the Lord is being escorted off the battlefield, oops, we misclicked a little bit too far. We see the Lord fleeing off the scene here. So it is going to be the Supreme Sorceress getting chased into the Shadow Realm by the Furies here. And Anticity in the process of cleaning up. Dark Elves have a little bit of fighting power left here with some Dreadspears and Dark Riders. But look at this, the Blackguard trying to put this game on their back, guys. Anticity's Lord is in trouble, 1,500 HP. Blackguard are really, really the hard carries here, guys. This game is, you know, a little bit of a scrappier one than you'd think. If they didn't throw their Lord away, this would probably be actually almost an evenish game. But I don't think that's going to be something you can come from behind and get. Seekers charging into the Dreadspears. Dreadspears will trade okay into them, but with the Furies coming in as well, probably going to be enough to kill those Dreadspears. Furies are pretty good at ripping up infantry. High weapon damage charging down there, and they are able to rip and tear. So good night, Sweet Prince. Over here, Objective 1 still being held. It does look like Ent is going to be calling in some, oh boy, absolute killer. Bringers of Begamut coming in, but I think he knows it's over and is going to be tapping out. Demons of Chaos get it done. The Blackguard weren't enough to carry that game. And Anticity gets away with it once more. GG, well played. Very, very fun match. So I thought that build was awesome. It's fast. It's furious. A lot of micro. The Dark Elves had a fighting chance, but they needed to keep their army close together. Having their army split wide like that was a big mistake. But, you know, it is what it is. Lesson learned. GG, well played. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting on and on and on to the next match. Blackguard value. This one got 700, but I think there was a second one that got 2,100 value, which is pretty good. Well, we'll see, Spalder. We'll see. There's still more games to come. We have some very high-level players. We have 4 players who are top 16 in the world playing tonight. So that would be like if you're in Warcraft 3 having like Happy and, you know, Sonic, and, you know, whoever the other Warcraft 3 pros. And Grubby, of course, in his prime, coming in and playing in top 4 here. So we will see. Let's get this going. And let's have some fun. So Anticity there with the win over Abdelzarak. I think that is the first game there that is done in the round. And I need to give buy round points to these 2 individuals. Although, no, they were dropped, so we're fine. Great match. Yeah, fun tactics for sure. You're seeing all the advanced schemes here from these players. Thank you guys for joining tonight. I always like these nighttime streams, very relaxed. It's so damn hot right now. It's still the tail end of summer, even though it should be fall already, but we're still getting the tail. Summer's fighting hard, so the nighttime streams are much more pleasant. Well, Anticity's build makes a lot of sense. It just requires a lot of micro, which he has. You know, Anticity has a traditional RTS background, which is very valuable in Total War. He comes from a, well, he plays StarCraft. He's a high Masters player in StarCraft. I don't know if he's a Grandmaster, but he's very, I'm sure he could if he dedicated himself, but he's very, very strong at RTS in general. That was like the same thing when we had Orange Pest. He came in and he started playing, like he started playing Total War, and then within like 3 or 4 weeks, he was making semifinals and grand finals. He didn't win any of the events. I'm sure he would have with another couple weeks, but he was already competing with top tier players. Like, if you got those RTS killer instincts, you can get there, you know? Yeah. Low Masters? Oh, dog. You could get Grandmaster. Do you think you could get Grandmasters in StarCraft if you spent like a month grinding it? I think you could, personally. I believe in you. Be curious to hear your opinions. Okay, let's do this. Check. Okay, so a couple games still finishing. And then we'll be getting to the semifinals. So now it's just kind of the podcast time where we just hang out and talk to each other until the round finishes. Maybe a few months, yeah. It's a grind though, man. StarCraft is one of the sweatiest games ever. It's so sweaty. Probs though, you love the grind, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to grind multiple games though, you know. It's something I've run into because I usually cover about 4 games at a time on the channel, and I notice it dulls my blade. If I just focus on just one, there's been times in the history of the channel where I've mainly just done Total War, and I've been like, the blade is so much sharper, but now it's like playing all these games, you know, they have different buttons and hotkeys and your brain mixes them up. General says, I got the Masters with just cannon rushing and 2-gate and Heart of the Swarm. That's funny. You would, of course, cannon rush. Your forbidden style of your bunkers. You should just learn to master base rushing in Dow 4 with guard. All right. The Raf says, I live in Massachusetts. There are 3 Dunkin' Donuts within 5 minutes walk of my house. Damn. If you stand in the right spot, you can see all 3 of them. That's pretty insane. So it really is pretty big cultural phenomenon over there, huh? All right. So yeah, probably another 5 to 10 minutes, guys, and we'll be in the semifinals. We will get there together. If the stream goes a little bit quick, maybe I'll show you guys some old Iron Harvest afterwards as well. I know there's some people who haven't seen it before, so maybe we'll throw that down. We will see. It depends on how long it goes, so we will find out. I know it's been forever since the Duncan conversation. Yeah. It's been a hot minute. You did in the first tourney I hosted. I was actually playing aggressive and it threw a few people off. Yeah, because when you play Dow 1, you're always like the bunker lord. Do you actually do that in like 1v1s? You turtle pretty hard? And just get your big guard blob going? I really hope they add Imperial Guard to Dow 4, man. I really do. Like if you look at some of the, let me look. I'm pulling this up. Dawn of War 4 gameplay. I think they put up a gameplay trailer too, didn't they? I can't remember. Let's check this. Yeah, hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Mute that. Yeah, so if we look at Dawn of War 4 real quick, I have the B-roll footage somewhere. I think we could probably watch that together. I'm really liking Iron Harvest. I think it's super fun. Yeah, so here we go. So this is the gameplay. Yeah, so here you can see, they do have a cover system. You can see you got the two tactical Marines in cover. I think it's like one directional cover for the most time. You know how like in Co, there's a lot of sandbags and stuff? Here, a lot of the cover is directional. That's a bunker right there. You see that? That's a bunker. So you can man that and they'll shoot out of the side. It's very similar to Company of Heroes. How if you have like a fighting nest, for example, it's just like that. Armies do get pretty big in multiplayer. I haven't played multiplayer, but I suspect they'll be similar size. So you can get a lot of units on the field. It definitely is a micro tax. Yeah, and so you can look here. If you look at Cyrus, you can see you have the classic retreat, very similar to Co. You have weapon upgrades and different skills, a bit of customization, and reserves as well. So Space Marines can drop pod in. Those units are in reserve. So Terminators will teleport in, and then the other guys will deep strike in. So you get a drop pod, and the cool part about the drop pods is they actually shoot. And there's an upgrade that the Space Marines have that is makes your drop pods a little bit fightier. Yeah, there's a drop pod right there. So you'll see there should be a gun on it. Yeah, see that right there, that little muzzle flare? There's like the drop pod shoots. So very, very cool flavor on that. Is the screen rotatable? Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, here you have the Mechanica stuff, the Cataphren destroyers, and then, yeah, I didn't get to play them, so I don't know anything about how they play. You can see the bases get pretty dense. That is a base. That is an orc base, though, to be fair. Yeah, you see the army abilities up top, the building menu and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of different buildings. The Boys Fort, the Beast Snag a Hut, the Scrap Heap, the Mech Boy Workshop. Definitely a little bit more base building than you see in some of the Dawn of War games. Probably not that different from Dow 1, though. Dow 1 probably has a comparable amount of base building. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Nice little sync animation right there. Yeah, you see with the boink. I'm trying to see if they have any guard footage here. Because I have some footage of the guard. Yeah, maybe not in that trailer there. Okay. Very pumped for that, though, man. Very pumped. I don't know a lot about Mechanicus. Excited to kind of learn him. I think of all the factions there, probably the easiest one I would imagine out of the gates will probably be Space Marines. They're like the beginner faction because they're so resilient and tanky and simplistic. The way they fight, low model count, very elite. Yeah, Dow 4. So when you play Dawn of War 4, you do get to more advanced units more quickly than in Dow 1. Like you start off with the Infiltrators as your tier 1, and then you get Space Marines. You can tech pretty quick, at least on the scenario we played. You were able to tech very, very quickly. So that was something to note. It's way, I think there will be games that are decided with a lot of tier 1 stuff, but I think in general, DAO 4 games are going to be longer. Because like even like DAO 2 games, they take a little bit longer to finish, and people usually get more advanced units there. Yeah. I'm excited, man. Yeah, DAO 3 was a bit of a bummer. Granted, I have to admit, there were a couple, when it first came out, there were some times I had some fun with it. And I was hoping they would change a lot of stuff and update it and polish it, but they just abandoned it. And you're like, oh. I actually had, I played In Control once on, you guys remember In Control? That was one of the first times I got to play against him in a game. I played him in DAO 3 way back in the day. All right, let's refresh this. Got to meet him in person at an event as well. He was a nice guy. Refresh brackets. Okay, still waiting here. Got some sweaty games going. I'm getting messaged. All good. Okay. Let's do that. Admin this. And it looks like we're all set. Sega did Relic dirty. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to come. You know, Relic has always done Dawn of War games. It shocked me actually when I saw that it was a different studio. Granted, having enjoyed Iron Harvest a lot lately, it does give me some hope. The Dawn of War 3 trailer is better than the Dawn of War 4 trailer, I think. The Dawn of War 3 trailer is pretty masterful. It's epic. With the knight fighting the Wraith Knight, and then the Howling Banshees like descending from their citadel, and the Marines battling the orcs. It was very grimdark. Can we watch the Dawn of War 3 trailer? It was so good. It was so good. That one was amazing. All right, guys. Let's refresh this. Mostly done. We have Potato Devil and Scrambled Egg. Claw and Pancake are duking it out. And I think our top 4 is starting to come into picture now. The sound design for the Dawn of War 3 trailer was so good. Yeah. Nothing beats the Dawn of War 1 trailer with the Space Marine yelling, though. That yell is so haggard. It's so good. All right, let's go here. Anticity, top 4. Daniken, top 4. Alexander Nuts. And the winner of Scrambled Egg and Potato is going to make top 4 also. Just like we predicted. The prophecy is true. It has been fulfilled. Yeah, so Potato is vying for top 4 versus, I think, Scrambled right now. Yeah, see, they're playing for that spot, basically. And that'll be a very clean top 4. I think, because Alexander has a really strong tiebreaker. I think Alexander's still playing too, is he? No, yeah, he is, but he's got Daniken as a tiebreaker. Okay, so he's got it. I always laugh at the guard commander fighting the Tau. Which one is that? Are you talking about one of the trailers? You guys have seen the Dawn of War 3 trailer, right? I think most of us have seen it. I would show it, but I think like everyone in the chat's probably already seen it. Yeah. Potato's going hard in the paint, man. Versus the Scrambled Egg special. That's the end of the tournament for me, but it was fun, and I'm looking forward to the finals. Yeah, well played. How'd you do? Claw's pretty good. Yeah, he's a decent Dark Elf player. He tends to meme, so it's hard to gauge his real skill, but, you know, it's he's a good player. Refresh, and then we just got these last 2 games to wrap up, and then we're good to go. Yeah, I do know, Legion. I do know. Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace, Jeff. He was cool, man. I shared a couple of cab rides with him back in 2017, 2018 maybe? Can't remember. For a Creative Assembly event that we had going on. 40K is fun. It's a fun game. The thing about 40K tabletop is the models are epic, but the games themselves take a long time. So I have a buddy who I play with, and we were able to get 2 Lord of the Rings games in the same time frame that we could play one 40K game. 40K could be quick if you're playing, if both players know their list like super well and you're playing like tournament style, you can get the games done. Because if you've ever played in a 40K tournament, people usually use chess clocks. And the rounds are what, 2.5 hours, I think, per, which is pretty reasonable. Depends on the army you play. You know, if you're like Unga Bunga playing Imperial Knights or whatever, then, you know, that's one thing. But Yeah. It's cool. I've been playing the Lurtz's Scouts, which has been a really fun list. So you use your boy Lurtz. I don't know. His model's pretty haggard, but it holds up okay. Let me find him here. He's around here somewhere. So where's Lurtz? We need to go to Isengard. This game is, I can't recommend it enough. The Lord of the Rings, the Middle-earth strategy battle game is so incredibly fun and flavorful. Isengard. Where's Lurtz? Yeah, these models are old as hell. These are the ones I have. So you got your boy Lurtz and Ugluk. So this is the guy that says meat's back on the menu. Yeah, Spalder, those were sad times. They were. Yeah, but that's the meat's back on the menu guy, and this is Lurtz. Yeah. It's the gentleman who cheeses Boromir, basically. Couldn't even give him a fair fight. In the actual tabletop game, I mean, obviously, I think even in the Tolkien world, Boromir would have been able to defeat Lurtz in one-on-one combat if he didn't get shot with a bow. The AOS Chaos Dwarf models, yeah. Have you guys seen those? The Helmsmiths of Hashut. Here they are. New. So these are the Chaos Dwarves. I guess they only have the starter box. Oh, that's a shame. So you can only get the little spearhead. But these are the new Chaos Dwarves. The models look pretty good, honestly. If I liked Age of Sigmar, this would be the army I would play. Granted, I would never pay that price for that. That's for sure. But yeah, this is like the starter box. It comes with all the transfer sheets and whatnot. I'm curious to see what the full release will look like. I really don't like that paint scheme. That's one thing. Despite those, I do not like that paint scheme. I think with the classic red looks so much better, man. All right, so let's get this. I mean, it's a very good paint job. It's just the colors I'm not an enjoyer of. I don't know how you guys feel. Okay, refreshing. The round is done. All right, semifinals. Let's go. Thank you guys for hanging around, listening to my old man ranting. And here we go. So that's going to be advancing to top 4. Is it very clear cut? It is. So somebody got 3 wins and even made it. Alexander Nuts, because he had 2 really strong opponents. Yeah, I was on Australian prices. Yeah, that's why it looks so expensive. Regular special, yes. Right now, yes. We got to focus on the old tournament here. All right, so we're going to do that. Boromir was killed by a toddler in face paint. Was Lurtz really a week old, though? Is that just how the movies depict it? Or I feel like the Uruk-hai are not like, they don't, I feel like that's a bit of a different, like in the books, is that really how it goes? I don't remember. I haven't read the Lord of the Rings books in ages. All right. So here we are. We got top 4. Top 4. So it's going to be Anticity. We got Daniken versus Scrambled Egg. I want to watch that because I want to see how Dark Elves fight ogres, actually. And then we got Anticity versus Alexander Nuts. Anticity versus Alexander Nuts. And then we have Daniken versus Scrambled Egg Special. All right. So I'm gonna watch Daniken versus lobby, please. Versus Scrambled Egg here. I don't remember us being told how they're made in the books. No, I don't think they're not all Lurtz. So Lurtz isn't even mentioned in the book, huh? Man, so the last time I read the Lord of the Rings books, I was like 12 or 13. So that was, oh man, that was like 20 plus years ago. I don't remember much from the books at all. Yeah. The toddlers do not know fear or pain. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into Daniken's thing here. All right. Let's find this. Ratatouille is his lobby, and we're going to spectate that. All right. So we got Daniken on Grand Cathay. Oh, wait. No, it's going to be Cathay. Okay. I'm happy to watch a Cathay game, though. You know what one of my favorite fantasy book series of all time is the Drizzt Do'Urden series by R.A. Salvatore. If you guys want like a simple comfort read that is just quintessential Dungeons and Dragons, Homeland, Sojourn, Exile, The Halfling's Gem, Streams of Silver, those books are amazing. They're so fun. How many R.A. Salvatore enjoyers do we have here? I mean, they're very simplistically written, but that's fine. It's fun. The last book I read was Dune Messiah. No, it was Dune Messiah. I think was the last book I read. That was a couple months, a handful of months ago, give or take. And then Dune Messiah, then Dune, and then before that it was I read The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which is just miserable, but interesting nonetheless. I read Red Blood Meridian. Yeah, not too many more. I used to read a lot when I was young, but a little bit less as I've gotten older. Dragonlance as a kid. Yeah, the Dragonlance books are amazing. All right. So it begins. Ogre Kingdoms versus Grand Cathay. Let's get this going and have some fun. That's, by the way, one of the most depressing movies. It's obviously based on the book, but if you've seen The Road with Viggo Mortensen, if you want to see Aragorn having a really, really bad time, watch The Road. That movie is freaking brutal. It's one of the few movies that I remember my wife and I watched it, and she was like, "This is like." My wife loves horror movies, but like that was just so realistic. It bummed her out. Yeah, that shit is bleak. What place? We're in the semifinals. I'm just casting tonight, so we're in the semifinals. Read Fulgrim. Okay, Blue Inferno. Do a lot of Audible now. Your favorite series, the First Law trilogy. I haven't read that one. I have not. This should be a brutal game for ogres. You think so? Are ogres not favored against Grand Cathay? I feel like they would be, but I could be wrong. Cormac McCarthy isn't even horror, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're talking about the Judge from Blood Meridian or anything in The Road, I mean, those are pretty horrific. So those elements of those books, you could probably categorize them as horror, to be honest. No Country. I haven't read the book for No Country for Old Men, but the movie is amazing. Yeah. All right, guys. It is time. We shall let the Nurglings feast and go once more into the deep. Yeah, the first three Drizzt books are amazing by Salvatore. Homeland, Sojourn, and Exile. If you just want like a simple D&D read, that's really fun. Highly recommend it. You know what I really want, though? I want Winds of Winter, and I know we're never going to get it. It's just not going to happen. Like, I want the proper ending to Game of Thrones, which is one of the greatest book series of all time. I love Game of Thrones. I remember reading those books in like 2009, 10, and 11 when I was in college and just being so into it. Like, that was one of the when they spoiler alert for the Game of Thrones books, all right? So you can put your earmuffs on, you can mute the volume if you don't want to be spoiled, but this happened a million years ago, okay? I'm going to give it like 5 seconds. When I was in college reading the first Game of Thrones book, Song of Ice and Fire, and when they killed Eddard Stark, I remember being like physically like upset about it at the end of the first book, but like I couldn't wait to read the next books. You know? I was like physically upset. I was like, God damn, dude, they really killed Eddard Stark. Like, I didn't know anything going into it. I was like, he's going to be like one of the main characters, you know, going on. Like, for sure. It's Eddard Stark. He's, you know, that's how it is. And it's just like karate chop. And then the Red Wedding, I was like the same feeling. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that shit was wild. And I want the proper ending to Game of Thrones that isn't just dog shit. I want the real ending. Yeah, I want it. I don't know. George Martin has been friggin' dodging the Winds of Winter like the Neo dodge bullets in the Matrix, man. Yeah. That's probably one of the most vivid book memories that stuck with me. I didn't like the Game of Thrones TV show ending. It felt pretty flawed to me. I thought I had a big issues with how the Battle of Winterfell was fought. That shit was awful. Like, oh, dude, don't get me into it. It was so bad. Like, they have their trebuchets outside in front of their army. The enemy army is completely enveloped in darkness. They have no information on the enemy army whatsoever. They're just like, yeah, let's just charge all our cavalry, open field in pitch black darkness into God knows what, which is outside of Winterfell, okay? And, you know, one of the big elements of shock cavalry is the shock element. And they're fighting undead. They're like, yeah, these undead lines are definitely going to break to our cavalry charge. Let's just get out there and fight in complete darkness with our shitty torches. All right? So there was that dog shit, you know? And then you have, like, when the White Walkers breach the walls, everyone is dead and pretty much gone. All the defenders of Winterfell, except like 8 main characters who are just like fighting sporadically around the keep, you know, surrounded, and somehow they're just surviving. Oh God. And when Arya, just like the Night King being killed by Arya, sure, like I'm not opposed to that arc. Like I'm not opposed to Arya killing the Night King, but the way it was done was so haggard. The White King literally takes on dragons and shit and just like, it's just like a menace, and that's how you get him. I wanted to see the damn the Night King march on King's Landing. I wanted Homeboy to go to the south, and then, you know, everyone to figure their shit out in the south and have the coming of winter be the apocalypse that brings, you know, the 7 kingdoms together. And you know, I don't know. There's some tension with Cersei and you know, obviously Jon Snow and like the different factions, but that would have been so cool if winter came all the way down to King's Landing and you had this like epic last stand that was actually properly done. Dude, imagine seeing Gregor Clegane, the Mountain, just battling the White Walkers and like taking on like 20 of them. That would be cool. Like that. Oh, dude, don't get me into that. Oh, it's so bad. There was so much done wrong. Game of Thrones season 8. Oh, and the show was so good. The first seasons of Game of Thrones were so amazing. You know? They were so amazing. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm many years late to this boomer rant, but I guess that's what we're here for right now. Look, Arya killing the Night King, cool. If it had been done better, but the way they did it was just so haggard. It was like, I'm going to drop this knife into my other hand. You'll never expect this. Wow. Dude, oh God, no. I liked Arya as a character a lot. Like, her arc was great in the earlier seasons. I mean, all the characters were pretty good for the most part. Yeah, man. And then, like, the whole ending with Daenerys and Jon Snow. Oh, dude, just don't even get me into it. just no more, dude. No more. All right, well... And look, here's the thing, guys. I have very low standards for film and television. I will enjoy just the shittiest, most haggard things. But that even was too much for me. I couldn't handle it. A song of rage and disappointment. How could George Martin let that happen? That's his legacy, you know? Like, didn't he have some creative control over that to be like, no, this sucks? Like, he's one of the greatest storytellers of our generation. And world builders. Like, God, man, how do they let that happen? He must have just been burnt out. Like, he's just like, fuck it. I'm done with this shit. You know? I love Kung Pao. Right. That's one of my favorite movies. Anyways. All right, guys. I'm letting the hate flow tonight. Don't get me started on Rings of Power, by the way. That's the other big trigger. I watched every episode of Rings of Power. I gave it an honest chance. I really did. And you know what? That first scene of Rings of Power in the very first season when they showed like the battle in the First Age, that was kind of cool. And I was like, oh, are they going to give us more of this? And then no, just no. Oh God, no. Professor Pone unironically likes Rings of Power. He does. He's a wild man, dude. You know, he's a wild card. You know, you never know what he's going to like. Who had a better story than Bran? Dude, the ending. Oh no! Stop, Davok. Stop. All right, enough boomer ranting. Enough. Appreciate that, Davok. Thank you, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, welcome to the semifinals of today's tournament. Spawning in on the north side of the map, it is going to be the Ogre Kingdoms. Gnoblar Trappers in the vanguard. In the tree line, it's going to be Gnoblars. Ogre Bulls, a Slaughtermaster of Heavens with Chain Lightning. Oh, interesting. Iron Guts are pretty good. These guys are anti-infantry armor piercing, so getting through the Cathay to armor infantry is certainly something they're very, very good at. And they have their big pimp clubs as well. Iron Guts, Ogre Bulls, and yeah, very much a rush build. Not much shooting, which makes sense. With Cathay's cannons and firepower, probably a little bit risky to go Leadbelcher heavy. And yeah, that is gonna be it. All right, guys, the battle is on. Grand Cathay going to be vanguarding with a couple of peasant horsemen for Daniken Trop. Lord in the Sky is going to be a Yang caster with the Dragon's Breath and Jade Shield. Dragon's Breath to clear out Noblars and make the Ogres more vulnerable. And aside from that, we do have the Jade Warriors in the Sunset with spears in the back, and it looks like some Nangao Grenadiers and Iron Hail Gunners. So a very well-rounded army. Combination of Jade Warriors, Peasant Spears, Iron Hails, and Nangao Grenadiers as well. All right, guys. Let's get it. Let's have some fun, and let's see what's cooking. So Danikentrop using his Peasant Horsemen to do a little bit of scouting, but doesn't notice the Noblar Trappers, and is going to be eating some Ninja Stars. And now what we're going to be seeing is the Breath Attack coming in, clearing out Pigback Riders. Man, Daniken is so freaking good with those Breath Spells, by the way. Able to nail so much and get so much value here. Look at that. Retreating back is the Dragon-Blooded Shugengin Lord, and the Ogre Kingdoms are going to be triple capping Grand Cathay most likely. With this build is an Unga Bunga Ogre build. This is like a build that squats in a loincloth and bangs a rock against the ground. It is just Iron Guts, Ogre Bulls, just heavy meat running forward and trying to stuff Cathay and probably win on objectives, to be completely honest. So there they go, and advancing up. This one is going to be going to the Ogre Kingdoms, and Grand Cathay is going to be advancing out. I think it's very important for a Scrambled Egg special to try and get this back objective, and we're going to see if that's going to get done. But no, it looks like the Ogres are going to be opting to play a 2-objective game. Why would they not bully Cathay off that back objective? That's one of Cathay's biggest weaknesses. I do think that that is a reasonable mistake. Not the end of the world. 1 Pigback Rider is basically destroyed. So nice. 2 Dragon Breaths able to kill 1 Pigback Rider. Not a bad usage. You're getting 550 gold off the battlefield there. And here we do have objective number 1 is going to be taken by Scrambled Egg Special. Over here, objective 2, we do see the Ogre Bulls moving up, Noblars and Iron Guts pushing as well. So they're going to be heading on in there. And the Ogre Bulls, they surgeth forth. All right, 2 objectives for the Ogre Kingdoms, Grand Cathay in a very defensive posture. I like that Scrambled Egg is now going to be playing his opponent's back objective here. He's going to be running for it and looking to lock it down, and that's how you beat Cathay. Cathay is terrible at taking objectives, but if you let them have the side objective, it allows them to play their game of essentially just, you know, poking you with their army while maintaining one objective and then pushing you off later. All right. So the Ogre Bulls are not going to do it, despite having the opportunity to do it. I think they would have been able to get in there. Daniken able to get another nice shot on the Noblars. And talk about Value City. These Breath Attacks are leaving the Ogre units very, very overextended. All right. So here we do see the Jade Shield. Look at that reaction from Daniken. I'm telling you, man. Eastern Europeans, they have dreaded micro. I believe he's from Ukraine, so he's showing us what's up here. Charix is from Poland. I'm telling you, they just got that micro, man. They got that micro in them. Using the Jade Shield to mitigate the damage from the Chain Lightning is pretty Chad. Very, very. That's incredibly fast reaction speed. Yeah, and some of the biggest micro masters we've ever had in Total War Competitive have been from Poland, Ukraine, Russia, various regions over there. I mean, very, very strong micro on those guys. All right, so now Grand Cathay is going to be moving forward. And the Ogres, are they going to engage or are they going to be yielding the objective? They're going to have to Alpha Strike at some point and take this fight. We will have to see. Moving up here, we do see the Peasant Horsemen lurking in the shadows. Onyx Crowmen here as well, and Jade Lancers waiting in the wings. Ogres being very, very defensive here, actually, and it looks like they're going to be yielding that objective, guys. To Grand Cathay, they're going to be letting it happen. The Dragon-Blooded Lord in the Sky does take a little bit of poke, and we do see Lead Belchers coming out. Now, Lead Belchers will be very good here because of the fact that there is no cannon for Grand Cathay yet. Beautiful Dragon Breath right there. Look at that. Nailing down those Noblar Trappers. Not killing any models, but just instant routing a 500 gold unit from 1 Breath Attack. Very, very good. All right, guys. Celestial Lion's going to be moving in with some Crowmen, most likely to try and shut down the Lead Belchers. And Daniken, is he going to get the objective? It would be a big mistake not to flip this while you have it. Oh, my God, he doesn't flip the objective. Oh. He's going to be letting the Ogres have it. I guess he doesn't care too much. He's just going to be playing for value and trying to get that. All right, moving on out. We do see the Ogre Bulls surging forth while the Lead Belchers in the back continue their shooting. And the Cathay army is going to be retreating while the Celestial Dragon for sure are going to be dropping it like it's hot on those Lead Belchers if they don't get some anti-large defense. A couple Saber Tusk packs to the back. Those things are designed to kill the Iron Hails and the Bombers. So certainly won't be bad. And is the dragon going to be going after the Lead Belchers? No, it's the implication. Flying overhead. Shot going down right there on the Noblars. Another Breath Attack. That one wasn't quite as brutal. As the Ogres now going to be sounding the Horn of War a little bit. We see a couple Ogre Bulls chasing, but Daniken's going to be noticing it, and they will be sounding the retreat. luring the Ogres a little bit far forward. And Ogres do have the objective, and now are going to be threatening Cathay's home objective here. But with the Celestial Dragon and the Crowmen, if the Ogres overextend here, you know, maybe they could isolate and get some surrounds and get some value with the big Celestial Lion. Who knows? Very, very cautious play coming in, by the way. Extremely cautious play here from Grand Cathay. Sitting back here, chilling out. Bomber Mobs and Iron Hills are really not super active right now. Ogres are trying to threaten the objective. They do have a bull up on the point. Bull's on parade. Which is a great song, by the way. Cannon shooting back here, and the Grand Cannons are now online. So Daniken has pretty much all the boxes checked, and the Grand Cannon is going to be a good answer potentially against the Lead Belchers. Ogres do engage here, using Ogre Bulls to fight the Peasant Horsemen, and now we got Noblars coming in to reinforce. Saber Tusk Packs potentially going to be fighting, but it looks like Scrambled Egg maybe going to be caught slipping here. Nope, doesn't look like it. And the Celestial Lion and the Crowmen waiting for a rear charge right there. Meanwhile, Grand Cathay is going to be bullying the Ogres off the point here. The Ogres having a really hard time figuring out how to engage here. You know, they could move up, but there's not a lot of great opportunities. The Chain Lightning activated on the Iron Hail Gunners, and that time it does a lot, but the Jade Shield is going to be a little bit late that time, unfortunately. So not quite as chat of a play from Daniken, but still, you know, the idea is there. All right, so the Ogre Kingdoms are able to overwhelm the Peasant Horsemen here, and we do see the Jade Lancers coming out. Ogre is going to be threatening Cathay's home objective right now. So Cathay might need to partition its forces a little bit. Jade Lancers engaging versus the Ogre Bulls. I believe there's some Iron Guts nearby as well. Iron Guts will be very good against Jade Lancers because they have really good armor-piercing values. And we are going to be getting a bit of a fight. Granted, those Ogre Bulls get flattened right there, guys. They get absolutely flattened down by the Jade Lancers and the Peasant Horsemen. They're going to be sent running, and the rest of the Ogre army is now going to be committing to the fight. And it's going to be a big, disgusting blob fight, which Cathay might actually win because of the Celestial Lion. Lion-O does have an AoE roar, and a nice breath right there, roasting some Noblars. Crowmen are going to be coming in, and now the counterattack is here for Daniken. We get the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin coming in. So the two armies are squaring off, while there is going to be a flank engagement over here. There they go. Great Long Riders going to be encircling the back of the army, preparing the charge, and here they come for the Dragon Emperor. Moving in, beautiful charge, humping the Ogres for good measure. You gotta love it. They'll be landing in a second, don't you worry. But there is the fearsome roar. And some of the Long Riders are on the ground, some of them are going to be staying up in the sky. Grand Cathay looking pretty happy here. Granted, the Ogres do actually get some Crushers in. So Crushers are anti-large fighters, going to be a counter against most of these units, and that actually worked out in the favor of Daniken, that the Longmas didn't actually land and fully fight, because they would have been enveloped by Crushers. Cannon shooting away, doing a lot of damage against Lead Belchers. Lead Belchers are hemorrhaging models. Bombs are going to be going down right here, nailing those Noblar trappers, so the Noblar is going to be paying the troll toll, while Daniken is holding on to the point, so the battle lines of Grand Cathay looking really firm over here, whereas over here it's a complete just anarchy. One caster are going to get surrounded, so the Alchemist does get surrounded by a bunch of Saber Tusks, and they're going to be getting nibbled on. Meanwhile, the Celestial Lion is getting taken to Pound Town by the dreaded Scrambled Egg Special Crusher. The Crushers have been his MVP today. That was very, very good for him in one of the earlier rounds as well, and the Crushers are going to be crushing and putting in quite a bit of work, as that Celestial Lion does get taken to Pound Town, and Grand Cathay actually losing the battle over here on the flank. Scrambled Egg Special pulling ahead in this game, and that's the thing with Cathay. Like, a lot of Cathay's army wasn't doing a whole lot. They were just staring at the Ogres, while the Ogres had a much stronger force over here on the flank that was able to overwhelm the Grand Cathay defenders. Big value difference for the Ogre Kingdoms now. We're going to see if Grand Cathay can come back. Iron Hill Gunners unleashing some nice powder shots into the Iron Guts here, which is very cost effective. In the backfield, a couple Ogre Bulls trying to envelop. They do get intercepted by some Peasant Horsemen, but Peasant Horsemen probably going to fold and break. We will have to see. Bomber Mob's not doing bad. Iron Hill Gunners mowing down whatever they can. Lead Belcher is still online and shooting, but the cannon, did he get taken offline? It looks like they're still shooting out of the trees. Oh no, he ran away with a great cannon. Okay, he's going to be getting it back now. Now, is there any way that Daniken can scrap back in this game? Jade Lancers are moving up, but they're going to have a bad time versus Iron Guts. Iron Guts have 90 armor. We do see Plague of Rust activated on the Crushers to lower their armor down to 38 and give a fighting chance to the Jade Lancers, but Crushers are just such an incredibly hard counter against Jade Lancers that they're really just going to have a terrible time here. So the big bonks are in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. And on the backside, we see a lot of light cavalry that probably need to be unsummoned. Grand Cathay trading okay over here on this side. Still managing to hold on to the objective, keeping the Iron Guts at bay, using the Heaven's Flash to lower their stats down a little bit. But the Ogres have gotten into the secondary. The Iron Hill Gunners have been taken offline here. Cannon has been compromised by these Ogre Bulls, so the Ogre Bulls have gotten here And yeah, that is some big old bonkening as meat's back on the menu, boys. They are going to be dropping it like it's hot. A couple Peasant Long Spearmen do arrive. You know, definitely able to beat an Ogre Bull unit, but the Ogres can just outrun them. Looking at the map, Scrambled Egg with objective 2. Currently, Cathay is double capped. So the Ogres have 2 objectives. Cathay has their 1. Barely holding on for their life, guys, but I just don't think it's going to be the case. Really, the big thing is Cathay just lost his fight over here so hard. Maybe the positioning for Cathay was a mistake. You know, arguably, Cathay should have played over here maybe and played more of a lane strategy, just pushing forward and force the Ogres to flank over here. I don't really know. But with that, the Ogre Kingdoms are going to be advancing to the Grand Finals. GG. Well played. A nice match between those 2 players and a valiant effort from Danikin playing Cathay like a champion tonight, but falling just short against Scrambled Egg Specials and his Ogre Kingdoms. So, sorry, I forgot to check value, damn it. Okay, finals. This is going to be the finals for tonight's event, guys. Here we go. Let's invite the players. We're going to do a little bit of this. And let's go ahead and get Scrambled Egg Special in there. Finals. And then we have to see who won between Anticity and Alexander Nuts. Holy shit, that game is still going. Okay, so Alexander Nuts and his Vampire Coast are fighting against right now. That matchup is actually very favored for Demons of Chaos. If Anticity brings a meta Demons of Chaos build against Alexander, he should be favored. Yeah. So Dark Age Rush saying Danikin made a big mistake bringing Vanilla Jades. You just bring Halberd, Spears, and Archers. Okay, good to know. Some good feedback right there. Let's do this and do that. Should fix that up in a moment. All right. Cool, man. All's good in the realm. And let's see what is going to be going on. We got Ogres in the Grand Finals with either Demons of Chaos or Vampire Coast. Meta's pretty healthy these days, honestly. I think you could make the Grand Finals with any number of factions. My stream schedules are kind of just all over the place. I usually stream about 5 days a week. Sometimes early in the day, sometimes later. Just kind of depends on what I'm up to that day. Yeah, I don't have like I probably should have one, but someday we will, someday. But for now, it's just kind of wild. Make sure you just have all the notifications clicked on YouTube, like the bells and whistles and whatnot, and Twitch subscribed if that's your preference, and that's going to be your best bet. All right, so Scrambled is here, and we need to see who's going to win on the other side. Refreshing. Alexander Nuts and Anticity are battling it out. And don't forget to report, so... Okay. On website there. Is the end of season still... no, I'm not going to wait for the DLC for the end of seasons. Yeah. Gornier, not tonight, actually, no. There's no... The sleepers have been gone for a while. These are natural numbers you're seeing, Gornier, right now. You can always tell. Yeah, there was that weird thing on YouTube for a long time where like my streams would randomly just shoot up to like 5,000 people. It didn't make any sense. I don't know what the hell it was, but it hasn't happened. I think YouTube fixed the issue that was causing that. You know, yeah, I don't know what the causation was. That match was fun to watch. It was a really good match. It was a great match. Okay, Scramble did it. Thank you, brother. I'm going to do a little bit of business here, and we're going to fix this up. So let's fight that, finalize this aspect of the tournament. Got the scores in there. I think maybe we'll play some greenskins next time. Greenskins could be fun. Maybe Corn. Corn is always a great one to play. We've given Nurgle a lot of love as well. You can get a dude, captchas are difficult, Aaron. I've been fooled by many a captcha trying to fill out forms and shit. Yeah. Final should be good though. Ogres versus Coast is fun, and Ogres versus Demons will be fun too. Those are good matchups. So we're guaranteed something good. And I think Scrambled Egg Special is number 5 or 6 in the world right now. Ranked number 5 or 6. Danikin eliminated. Anticity's number 1 in the world. And I think Alexander Nuts is in the top 16 somewhere. I'm not sure where. Empire. I'm down for the Empire, actually. The Sons of Sigmar called to me. But I want to play Chorfs. I want it all, man. Yeah. Hard choices. We'll put up a poll on the community section. Bring out the Destroyer. No, the Destroyer is fun when you pick it, and then when you lose, you're mad you brought it, you know? It's one of those type of situations. Okay. Yeah, Chorfs are really fun to play. I love playing Chorfs. I just like using Infernal Guard, Fireglaves, and Artillery. It's just the power fantasy. Empire is good, though. Empire is really resilient against cheese. Like, cheesy all-in lists, Empire can really punish them with wagons, and they have some other strong tools, too. Vampire Count Mirror is pretty boring, but I think Nurgle Mirror might be on par with it in terms of awfulness. Yeah. Could I Destroyer matchup? Oh, God. It'd be fun if you could do preload some builds and then do random. What do you mean exactly, Walnuts? Like a new format? Oh, did he win? All right, so Anticity won. Shocker. And let me know, Matt. All right, there we go. And it is time. Vampire Count versus Nurgle Mirror. I mean, at least they're different units. It's that one. That one is not as bad. They're at least different units. All right. So this weekend on Saturday, we're casting a Age of the Ring tournament, and then on the following weekend is going to be what, the 28th or 29th? Maybe I might schedule the season finals for the end of the month. That might not be a bad idea. Although it would be a little bit short notice, so maybe the week after that. We'll have to see. The season finals will be getting scheduled soon. Anyone else painting during the stream? Yeah, okay, so if you guys are hobbying or are in the process of hobbying, what miniatures are you painting right now? I'm currently painting some Urukai Scouts. Curious to hear what the homies are up to. What are your hobby projects? Okay. Everyone submits a build and then you lottery them to players. That's interesting. You're painting this margarita in your mouth. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So it looks like some people have done some Iron Harvest minis. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's some nice 3D printed Iron Harvest minis, actually. It's pretty fun. Cool to come up with a game for that. All right. Just got the 40k World Eaters Combat Patrol. Nice. Demon Prince of Khorne, Heavy Metal. Blood Claws. That's one of the warbands, right? Spirit Host as Chaos Spawn for my World Eaters. Oh, kind of a cool idea. Curious to see how that looks. Oh, you're doing the A Song of Ice and Fire, Jorah Mormont, huh? Starship Trooper Walker? Starship Troopers has a miniature game? Oh, making terrain for Legions Imperialis. Ah, nice. Damn, 2 Chaos Knights. That's a lot of work. You have an airbrush going, I'm guessing? Painting Imperial Knights with just a brush would be pretty laborious. Oh man, painting a horde of clan rats is pretty rough. Like painting hordes in general is suffering. Like I have painted 120 Poxwalkers for my Death Guard army, and it was like the most miserable process. The first like couple are fun. You're like, dude, that looks cool, and then when you like batch paint them, you lose. It takes all the soul out of painting for me, but I do it anyways because it's faster, you know. Yeah, Cody, that's cool. All right, so let's get this going here. And we're going to be playing the Arachnarok lair. All right, great. That's going to be the map. Arachnarok lair, yes. Anticity is ready. Let's see his forbidden build. Is it going to be working against Scrambled Egg Special? It has worked tonight. He has done quite good. You dropped your Jade Lancer in the artist section of the Discord? Okay, we can take a look at your Jade Lancer real quick. Let's see it. So we're in the Discord. Where the hell is the art section? Oh, I don't even know where the fuck is this. It's going to be in the community section somewhere here. That's Wookiee there. Imperial Pet Catalog. Even art section. When you put it in the Discord, you said? And it's in the artist channel. Other games. There it is. Tabletop. Okay. Oh, I love that scheme. Damn, son. This is one of the players who played in our event tonight. I really like that. That red and black looks awesome. And I'm biased because red and black are my favorite colors. So, dude, that looks cool. Yes, it is. The runner-up in the esteemed Grubby Invitational. How sick does that look? And that base looks nice too. Yeah, it looks really good. Darth, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Great job. Great job to you. That's an awesome looking miniature. And let me see here. Oh, and you have another angle on it. Okay, we'll do this real quick. That looks great. Honestly, that's super solid. Looks really amazing. Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, it's on a round base though. What's the round base about? Are you using it in Age of Sigmar for like Cities of Sigmar or something? That could make sense. You could totally do like a like Asian inspired City of Sigmar by using the Cathay miniatures, which is great. I think I've seen some people doing that, like playing the Cathay army in Age of Sigmar as like a Cities of Sigmar, but you know, Asian inspired. Yeah, it looks really good, man. Looks really good. Powerful paint job on this guy. Good stuff, Salty Scarab. Yeah, so you're using them as steel helms for Cities of Sigmar. That's really cool. I would love to play against that army in tabletop. Pretty damn clean. Pretty damn clean. It's really hard to make black look good, but you've done a good job of that. So, and God, painting all that trim just looks like a nightmare. All right. It's a model worth a tutorial. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. People want a tutorial. Okay. Let's do this. And the finals are upon us. Good luck, have fun to everybody. Welcome to the grand finals of tonight's event. This is going to be Scrambled Egg Special on Ogres versus Anticity on Demons of Chaos. All right. And Aaron, I've seen someone talk about Forge Alliance meeting. Yeah, I will, Aaron, at some point. I will at some point. There will come a time. So it begins. The greatest battle of our time. I think I'm going to paint an Imperial Guard army at some point. Shout out to T-Rex. So I'm going to be doing an Imperial Guard army, and I think I want to do black and red also. So I'm going to do like, you know, red trim, black cloth, kind of have that be the scheme for the army. It's my favorite color. I've never painted an army that way, although my Chaos Dwarves are kind of like that, but not quite. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's break it down. Spawning in on the east side of the map, it is going to be Scrambled Egg Special with his Pigback Rider front line, backed up. Oh, he knows Anticity is bringing some mobile shit. Look at him. So Scrambled Egg going for triple triple Maneater pistol to try and deal with the mobile stuff. That's so funny. Now Anticity is doing the same shit he's done every single game. He's like Pinky in the Brain. We're going to do the same thing we do every day, Pinky. Pinky, try and take over the world. But this time, did he mix anything up? He's got Fiends of Slaanesh, Fiends, a Herald of Khorne to buff them, the speed buff, and then Furies up in the sky. All right, guys, let's break it down. Let's have some fun, and let's see if Scrambled Egg can derail Anticity. Nobody's been able to yet today. Anticity's been crushing it with his evil mobility build. I'm going to be curious to see how this goes. Yeah, the idea of this build is the Herald of Khorne. He gives the AoE buff, and then you also have the Revel and Slaughter. So everybody around him is going to be getting plus 16 melee attack, and then you have Locus of Wrath, which is plus 40. So you just make your Fiends of Slaanesh and Furies into absolute murder machines, which is going to be pretty nasty. Ogres are probably just going to consolidate on the middle here. Anticity is probably going to try and Pavane the Ogre Lord and get a snipe on him like he's usually done. Scrambled Egg, though, is no weak villain. Or no weak enemy, excuse me. Anticity's for sure the villain with this build. But, yeah, he is a veteran of many tournaments, of many wars. He is an old dog. I don't know how old he is, but metaphorically, he's an old dog. He's seen a lot. So he's going to be ready to poke and ready to fight here. And he's just going to be grabbing the middle objective while we see Plague Bearers. Plague Bearers are actually quite good against Ogres. Very, very solid. So they're moving across. I know, it's hard to call Anticity a villain because he's super nice. He's a really, really good person. But yeah, the builds are villainous, for sure. Only a slight plus 56 melee attack. No big deal, that's right. All right, so that objective is going to be going to the Ogres. You see how he's playing tight, though, against Anticity's mobility? He's not leaving a lot isolated out on its own. Everything is covered by something else. right? Which is the idea. So Scrambled Egg going to be setting up shop. He's got his 3 guns, and we do see the envelopment coming in as the Fiend's going to be getting ready to get a little bit of a surround there. We'll have to see how that goes. Objective number 2 going to be going Ogre Kingdoms. And the pistols are setting up the party. Powder Guts looking to push back. Very patient gameplay for both players. Nobody's panicking and rushing the objectives. We are going to be seeing a couple, I like this, couple Saber Tusks to go like threaten that objective, but Anticity is going to zip over there and try and stop that. But if Scrambled can buffer out with pistols, like move his pistols up here and make Anticity take a wide route, that could buy him time to get the objectives, which would be pretty forbidden for sure. Ew, are those slow units? Yeah, that's right. All right, so Saber Tusk and Saber Tusk's going to be getting the objective, and then he's just going to run away. He's simply going to retreat. He's going to peace out, and then he's going to use his pistol to put a little bit of poke down. Anticity is just poking and prodding and poking and prodding and waiting to try and get a goodie. Okay, there's the first unit that's going to be dead. He uses Pavane of Slaanesh on the Saber Tusk pack, which is going to be rampaging the unit and forcing it to go attack the Fiends. So there it goes. So now it's going to be Rampage. Granted, it's not that big of a loss. It's only a 500 gold unit. The trick here is to be patient and not charge in with everything and just like let Anticity bait you into a bad fight with the Pavane of Slaanesh. So the pistols are going to be providing some shooting. They do manage to hit the Herald of Khorne, and also some of the pistols shooting into the Fiends. That Saber Tusk pack, though, gets annihilated really, really badly by the Pavane. So every time the Pavane is cast, you could theoretically pick off one of those kind of units, which is very cost-effective for this army here. And the Ogres, they have their posture, man. They got objective 2 and 3. They're not going to be playing the outside. Granted, they could send some stealth units down there, but Anticity probably would find a way to do it. A little bit of damage down to the Fiends of Slaanesh, too. So 16 here, looks like 16 here. The pistols were able to return the favor a little bit, so not terrible. Plague Bearers moving up. Ogre Bulls can certainly fight them. Plague Bearers do trade well into them, though. They hit very, very hard, and they do have the Fizz Res. Saber Tusks are going to be hit back, and Scrambled Egg is going to need to figure out how he wants to play this. Is he going to get Crushers out and try and fight the mobility? I have no idea how he's going to be doing it. All right, so a little bit of shooting coming down from the Blues. Scrambled Egg looks like he's going to rotate across this way and try and steal Objective 1 and force Ent to run across the map again. I think that is the correct play, and I suspect that that's what's going to be going down right here. Firepower coming in from the Blues. Doing a little bit of damage against the Ogres, nothing too crazy. And Saber Tusk packs are making their way down towards Objective 1 to get the free objective there. And in the meantime, the Powder Guts keeping it very tight. Nothing is overextending too much. Anticity has not been able to find any big alpha strikes yet. Now he's going for some trappers on the outside. So you can see all the Man-Eaters are going to be waddling over here. And Noblars are going to be setting up shop as well. And those Noblars are taking a pounding, but there are Ogre Bulls giving it back to these Furies as well. Anticity counter-striking. Seekers of Slaanesh and Furies going to be pushing the Ogres off the side objective here. In the meantime, the Ogres, for the more or less, trade evenly here. Losing the Locus of Swiftness is pretty funny, but they still do get a little bit caught up there. And the Powder Guts are moving in and shooting. The Ogre shooting line able to melt a couple Fiends, or melt a Fiend there, which is pretty cost-effective. And the Gremlin fighting does continue, guys. Is Anticity going to be able to take it, or are the Ogres going to endure these Alpha Strikes as they have been so far? Nothing has been hit super hard. Nothing really, really terrible has happened to either player. So this game is still very much up in the air. Blood Vultures are out. Blood Vultures versus Furies. I'm pretty sure the Fury will win if it's full health and if the Blood Vulture doesn't have any eating done, if it hasn't gotten its Vultures. But here in this situation, the Vulture will probably win. But normally, head-to-head, Furies do win against those, if I'm not mistaken. Largely due to the physical resistance they have, which mitigates 20% of the damage that the Vultures do. But the Vultures were able to feast and get their stats up from the Carrion Frenzy, so they will be stronger next time they fight. And Ogre is going to be descending on the low ground here, using Noblar Trappers, Saber Tusks, and Pigback Riders. Man, Scrambled Egg really partitioning his forces very, very effectively. Uh-oh, man, Pavane activated onto the Powder Guts, guys. So that's going to be a big pick. This is a big moment. Is Anticity going to get a freebie, or are the Ogres going to go forth and protect their boys? The Powder Guts getting lured into combat. Basically, Slaanesh puts a vision in their head that makes them see a cheeseburger over here, and they charge in, and they're like, oh shit, that's not a cheeseburger. Look at that, Harmonic Convergence activated, and now the Ogres are going to be providing a little bit of support. Powder Guts are good fighters, and with Harmonic Convergence, they're going to be more resilient. The Slaughtermaster moves in, Pigback Riders moving in, Ogre Bulls and Overwatch Fire over here as well. So yes, the Powder Guts are probably going to die, but, you know, they're giving a little back. Locust of Wrath, though, huge melee attack buff, 87 melee attack on the Fiends of Slaanesh. Absolutely disgusting here. As Man-Eater is going to be attacked by Furies, but the Furies will be dispatched most likely by the Blood Vultures countercharging them. Powder Guts fighting to the bitter end, man. Despite being lured in, I mean, look how much damage they've done. With the Harmonic Convergence, the Slaanesh army here has taken a bit of a whooping. As we do see Scrambled Egg Special pulling ahead in the fights. Blood Vulture is going to be coming in. Man-Eaters will be able to defeat the Slaanesh Furies. Double Blood Vulture landing on these. In the meantime, though, Anticity does steal the middle while the Ogres take objective number 1. But this fighting not looking terrible for the Ogres. Granted, all it takes is Anticity getting a Lord Snipe on you to turn the tide of the fight. Slaughtermaster going to be calling back here, and the Ogre Bulls dispatching of the Furies, and the Slaanesh army not having a good time, as we do see all of these Fiends being poked by Pigback Riders, which is incredibly cost-inefficient for Slaanesh. And also the Ninja Stars are coming in from downtown, which do good chipping DPS. Heaven's Caster nuking those Plague Bearers, so that's clearly what he was for. Another Pavane of Slaanesh. Not really going to do anything. It's just going to lure them into a fight that they're already losing. So right now we see the Ogres pulling ahead a little bit. The fight down here decisively won by the Ogre Kingdoms. The Demons of Chaos failed in their Alpha Strike, but can Anticity gremlin his way back in this game? I don't know. I do think that the Ogres were able to pull a pretty big advantage there, but now Anticity going for the desperation plays, which I respect it. The Changebringers are coming out, and there is Ogre shooting online. We do have the Man-Eaters with pistols, at least 2 of them, which can fend off these units. But here they come. Tzeentch going to be dropping it, getting a good shot right there, nailing into the Noblar Trappers. And now Blood Vultures with Harmonic Convergence. They're blessed by the heavens. And the Blood Vultures are going to really, really tear into these guys. You're going to see the freaking dudes having to land right here. But Anticity with an MLG play, using the Tormentor Sword to block the Blood Vultures and then countercharging them with Furies. Extremely high-level play here. Very, very nice. And now the Changebringers, a situation which most players would have just lost them. Homie was able to escape there with some really, really good decision-making. So Plague Bearers being worn down. Man-Eaters are hunting after these units. And we do see the Flamethrowers on the ground here getting some good shots into the Noblar Trappers. More Ogre Bulls are on the way in. 3,000 value lead, give or take, for the Ogre Kingdoms. And probably even more with healing and disintegration taken into account here. Heaven's Caster does a little bit of a swing and a miss. As the Ogres continue crumping, complete dominance for the Ogres on this side of the field, just clearing out all the demons. The Plague Bearers are some of the last tools to be holding here. As the Changebringers going to be afflicted by Dismember, which does slow them down, and you can see the Powder Guts as well as the Man-Eaters in general with their pistols really laying waste into the Changebringers as they're eating a lot of shots and getting popped off their little frisbee discs there. And that value lead is staying at about 3,000. Ogres going to be taking over the middle objective here in a moment. And the Demons of Chaos, I think, are really running out of steam. I mean, all they have, if you look at Anticity's assets, we see a Plague Bearer here. We see Herald of Corn and Allurus over there. Really, really not a whole lot else, guys. And ladies and gentlemen of the Grimdark Future, and we're not casting Dawn of War, of the old world, looks like the Ogres have found the answer to dealing with the dreaded Anticity mass speed build, the Speed Freaks. Very, very good stuff. The Ogres are coming to get you, and Scrambled Egg is also just a menace to play against. He plays some of the tightest games you'll ever see. He rarely makes mistakes. His positioning is always pretty god tier. He's really good at allocating forces to objectives. Doesn't have too many weaknesses as a player, to be honest, from what I've seen. All right, guys. Chaos Furies here getting eviscerated, and we are going to be seeing the Plague Bearers here getting taken to town by the Ogre Bulls. A little bit of shooting as well. Anticity is basically just in desperation modes right now. You know, over here we do see the Furies coming in, but the Ogres will take them, and that's going to be victory for the Great Maw. Are you guys hungry? Tonight we're eating well. GG, well played. Victory for the Chungai. All right, guys. That was a fun tournament we had tonight. We got to see some super high-level play from a bunch of great players. Some really, really fun builds. And I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. If you guys on YouTube, I see there's about 1,700 folks there. If you enjoyed this, let's pump up those rookie numbers. Drop a like on the stream. It helps out quite a bit. Helps keep me going. So I would really appreciate that. And for all of you guys on Twitch, consider subscribing or following if you're not. And we'll be back tomorrow, probably with another stream. I would stream a little bit longer, but tournament's over, and I'm starving. I'm super hungry. I hit the gym before this, so I gotta get some food. Gotta eat. You know, get that protein in the body. All right, folks. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you later. Got a lot of fun stuff this weekend. Big Age of the Ring tournament, and we are also going to be having some fun tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe like Company of Heroes tomorrow or something. Something funky. Warcraft 3. We'll see. All right. Adios. Do widzenia, my friends. We'll see you on the other side. And congratulations to the Scrambled Egg Special. The Great Maw has eaten well once again. GG, well played. See you guys around, and take care of yourselves.